Harrison Blair right to blow his whistle for the final match in the National League for Yeovil Town and Eastleigh this year, and we are underway. It's worked back to Jed Ward, 30 yards from his own goal. Goes long, looking down left towards Sims. It's flicked on from Jarvis and cleared from Brindley. Scored a terrific equaliser dead in late on. Warnell's clearance is charged down and behind for a Yeovil throw.
Yeah, good big boot forward from Jed Ward, straight from the goal, straight from the centre there. Getting it up to Aaron Jarvis, wins his first header. That will give him a little confidence boost right at the start of this game.
McGavin back to Warnell, who clears it down the line. Need up in the air from McCormick. Jarvis looked pulled to the floor. It's going to be a free kick to Yeovil in their own half, which they take quickly to Sims, just past the centre circle. And he's off to the right-hand side. Joe Leaf, slightly wider than we were anticipating, but it looks like Daly, as we thought, will be playing as a more right wing back.
Very high at the moment, isn't he? He's looking for that ball over the top, but it's going to have to be a special pass to find him.
Yeah, Eastleigh are lining out slightly differently than we expected as well. It looks like Harris is filling in sort of in the back three with Lloyd Humphreys, who's played there the last couple of games in midfield. He's a versatile player. He's more defensive midfielder. He played under Scott Bartlett at Weston-super-Mare. There's Kyle Ferguson in possession now, approaching the halfway line. A minute and a half in, 0-0. Daly up to Sims, twists away from his man Pierre. Eastleigh win the ball back with Harris. Played back to goalkeeper Townsend, who's under a little bit of pressure, and Wecker's attempted clearance deflects and Yeovil win it back initially through McCormick.
Good press in there from all the Yeovil forward line. Aaron Jarvis chasing that ball down. McCormick follows up and just put a little bit of pressure on and get the ball back.
Ward goes long, it's headed away from Wecker, picked up from Evans in his bright red boots in midfield, knocks him over the top. Nearly got Blair in behind. Fortunately for Yeovil, they're covering defenders as Evans' touch is slightly loose, but Lundstrom there to cover and played back from Wecker to goalkeeper Townsend. He's been an ever-present in the league since he joined from Newport. Josh McNamara on the bench for the Spitfires as Warnell does well to chest down and boot it high into Somerset sky, but it's headed back forward from Pierre, just misses Saunders. Warnell touches it on to Ferguson midway inside his own half, and down the line from Joe Leaf, not quite collected from Daly. I think both managers have been trying to outfox each other with the way they've been lining up, because it is slightly different than we anticipated here. Yeah,
Joe Leaf's almost been given a bit of a licence to come out wide on this right hand side.
Plant just beaten to the ball now, picked up from McGavin, cross to Sims just past the centre circle. Jolie wide right, first start for a couple of weeks. Nice striding forward, but Pearson's in his way. Has to backtrack and give it back to Morgan Williams, back from that 3-match ban. He scored in this fixture last year, the 2-2 draw, which had a dramatic ending. 3 of the goals were in the last 10 minutes after Sean McGurk had tapped in the opener just past the break. And then Eastleigh won the return fixture at the Silver Lake. Yeovil ended with 10 men. Red card for Otis Khan. Chris Maguire with the only goal. Is one over the top. Plant the chase and push on Brindley. Free kick to Eastleigh in their own half. We've been playing 4 minutes, 0-0.
Yeah, classic. One in the corner there. Foul won by Brindley. He looks to be in a bit of trouble though. His goalkeeper's gone over to him and waved for the physio. Runs down the pitch. He almost put himself to the ground when he felt the contact from James Plant, and looks to have done himself a problem, really.
I wonder the way he landed. Maybe it's his shoulder. He's sort of on this turf, which is in very good nick again at Hewish Park. It's been not much rain recently. It's just been bitterly cold across the country. It's Brindley receiving some treatment. Grenadian, Norwich born. signed from Notts County 18 months ago, occupying the right wing back role, but won't be for much longer if he still needs to be assessed for this injury. A bit too early, I suppose, for the managers to get some messages across to their players, because they've not long left the changing room.
Yeah, and this will be a real sort of disappointment. You can see the Eastleigh players staying warm, keeping moving around, because to just play 4 or so minutes and have a stoppage straight away after you've done all your pre-match warm up and got yourself ready to go sort of takes away a bit of that momentum.
They've brought a lot of fans, haven't they, this evening? We've even got some in the terrace behind the goal to our right hand side, which isn't often open for away supporters. They had 4,300 this game last year, but it's slightly nearer than their last away trip up to Gateshead. They've played in front of the highest National League crowd this season, Eastleigh, 10,880 at Carlisle, and then down to 431 at Gateshead around a week or so ago. 2 slightly long journeys, and there's still medical assistance needed here for Brindley, who stayed down.
Yeah, looks like there's extra medical staff have come onto the pitch. It was such an innocuous one. You see it so many times in a game, don't you, where a player feels a hand on the back and they sort of throw themselves down to the floor to win that free kick in the corner, and he's clearly landed really awkwardly and uncomfortably, and now in a position where it's receiving a lot of treatment, and this game has really come to a standstill.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all. We said about extra people on there, so it's going to force Eastleigh into an unwanted early change. I said 2 games before this, they played with the same starting 11 where they picked up 4 points. The win at Gateshead and draw with Woking, but it's only 1 win in their last 7 games for Scott Bartlett, who took over at the end of September, replaced Kelvin Davis. There's concern at the moment will be the condition of his fullback. It's his 10th start in a row in the league, Richard Brindley, and he's been pretty regular since he arrived at the start of last season. It's not much different position to where Alex Whittle went down the other week. It was against Maidstone. He hasn't figured since. I think I'm certain he's not going to play any further part in this game, Richard Brindley.
No, I think not. I'm not sure what they've got over there for him. We get to see a stretcher or anything, but there's that bright orange bag, which I think they sometimes pull the kit out of to sort of secure leg injuries or that sort of thing, or sometimes a neck. But yeah, it's a real concern.
A couple of players are kicking the ball around to try and stay warm. Well, we've played just over 8 minutes, but already there's going to be around 5 added on. So it was too far away. I'm guessing a bit of a yelp in pain for Brindley. We've heard it from our commentary position.
Stood up, isn't he, I think, now?
Yeah, it'd been quite a lively start to the game. Played at quite a good tempo, but obviously now that's going to slow things down, understandably. They've already got the board ready, Eastleigh, to make this first change. It looks like it's going to be James Waite, which means it's going to be a change of shape, because he's a more central, attack-minded midfielder. Play up front. He's on loan from Weston-super-Mare. Information I've got is it runs out on New Year's Day, so it might be his final outing. Could be in line to play for Weston still in the FA Cup at Grimsby in the 3rd round. Help them get to round 2 with the winner against Aldershot. But his number is getting prepared, and it's going to be a first change for Eastleigh. Inside 10 minutes, off goes Richard Brindley, and on comes James Waite. So we'll have a look what this means. I mean, Humphreys has already sort of dropped slightly deep, whether it's just for this free kick. I mean, they had a couple of defensive options. Luis Fernandez centre-back Niall Mayer said before the game centre-back he hasn't played for 9 months, so it would be unlikely throwing him in. And Tommy Whitehead's a right-sided player, but they've gone for a slight alteration, and by the looks of things Humphreys has gone into a back 3 as he's immediately in the air of a job. So back underway as Evans the ball quite acrobatically in the air, plays it across to Archie Harris, left back. His hair tied up. Aweka across to Humphreys. That's going to be a bit of a distraction for them, because they obviously came with a game plan, because as I said, Humphreys played in defence the last couple of matches. There's one back from Yeovil high up the field through Sims. Lays it off to Daly near the edge of the area. Daly trying to get onto his left foot, but he's dispossessed from Pierre. And a bit of frustration from the supporters. So I think the Yeovil fans think they should have made more of that opportunity. And
yeah, I think when you win the ball back in those positions, you've got to make it count. And yeah, just unfortunate from Yeovil. Daly so left-footed. He was never going to get that back onto his left to find a shot, and was only going further away from goal. Really do wonder sometimes. I think right footer in those positions, and left on the left, right on the right, and in those moments the shot can be, taken quickly, can't it? But that time Daly has to take his time to get it under control and try and make something happen.
Waddle striding forward, nearly overran the ball. Ian Jarvis do ought to win it back. Inside to McGavin, just inside his own half, across to Joe Leaf. Eastleigh now more like a sort of a 3-5-2 as Joe Leaf almost stumbles on top of the ball on the right hand side, and under a bit of pressure from Waite. It's quite diminutive midfielder from Newport. McGavin just past halfway looks up for the crossfield ball over to the left hand side towards Plant, but it's headed away from Pearson. Wannell picks it up 15 yards inside the Eastleigh half. 0-0 on BBC Radio Somerset between Yeovil and Eastleigh. Yeovil fans finding their voice behind the goal to our left. Sims across, that's poor from Daly, complete loss of concentration. The ball's just ran underneath his foot, out for an Eastleigh throw.
Yeah, he was looking to do the second thing before he did the first thing there. Daly was kind of shaping up to play the pass and took his eye off the ball. Just takes a bit of that momentum away.
It's out again for a Yeovil throw in their own half. 0-0. Yeah, bitterly cold Hewish Park in the end of 2025 as Ferguson this throw. Yeovil's many arrivals during this calendar year. Evans to Harris on the left hand side, back inside to Evans, now across to Humphreys, the right of a back 3. The long ball over the top to Harris. He's going to have to give chase. He might keep it in play near the byline. Has just. Face up from Joe Leaf inside to Blair, wide of the penalty. Harris inadvertently intercepted him, and Sims wins it back. Charging down the right hand side, but important covering from Pierre. So Joe Leaf has to hold off Blair, and Blair, penalised, frustratedly pushes the Yeovil man. I thought he's going to be a real handful tonight. He's a good experience, more National League South player, but he's stepped up for Eastleigh, done pretty well since joining from Maidstone.
Lively player, isn't he? He's going to harass Carl Ferguson, Morgan Williams and Jake Wannell when he gets the opportunity to, and yeah, they'll have to keep their wits about them.
Yeah, he won promotion with Braintree a couple of years ago, but then elected to stay at the level and reach a playoff final again a year after with Maidstone, as Eastleigh win the ball up high up the field. Saunders trying to play it through to Blair. Yeovil have enough players back. McGavin covering and knocks it on to Wannell, to Plant on the left hand side. Back to Wannell. And Yeovil trying to play their way out of trouble. Ferguson, right-sided centre-back, approaching the halfway line. Hits it over the top towards Sims, headed away from Aweka, as Daly is penalised for a foul on Evans. Free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, frustrated little kick out there from James Daly, just on the heels of Evans. It's had a frustrating opening spell, hasn't he, James Daly? We're annoyed with that miscontrol.
Been a regular since he came back from injury. Played 90 minutes the last few. There's Aweka striding forward in space on the left-hand side. Daly and Sims coming back, threaded it to the left-hand side. And it's going to run out of play. No, it's well kept in actually from Harris. Blair takes it off him, just keeps it in play near side the Eastleigh left, and it's come last off Daly for an Eastleigh throw. Good persistence actually from the visitors to keep that move alive, and they want to throw him for their troubles. 0-0, just past 15 minutes played.
Yeah, great energy. It looked like that ball was a lost cause really.
Thrown inside to Evans, a snapshot is blocked from Jarvis coming back to help defend. Pearson, a few boos as a former Yeovil player, part of the promotion winning side. Waite receiving it off Humphreys. So one current Western man, one former, one over the top towards Pearson, who chests it down wide of the penalty area. Blair waiting in the middle, plays across to Blair, and he's flashed it over at the near post. He got there before Jed Ward, and he put so much on it that from a couple of yards out, he's put it over the crossbar. The best chance so far remains 0-0.
Well, a massive chance that was. A great ball from Waite over the top, flighted it perfectly, and Yeovil Town fans know what Sam Pearson's capable of in those positions. Good low ball across the box, and you'd think Blair would get that away. He'll be disappointed he hasn't. Certainly his manager was disappointed. Big chance for Eastleigh. Yeovil got to sharpen up at the back.
Yeah, it was a delightful crossfield ball. McCormick over to Plant on the left hand side. McGavin, centre circle, he likes to try and dictate play. Now Joe Leaf. Daly on the right hand side, two players on him. Touching the ball around on tidy surface here, Hewish Park, well maintained as Morgan Williams taking it forward to his enforced layoff. Red card after the game at Hartlepool. Plant on the left hand side. Jarvis went down off the ball then. I didn't see anyone near him, which is more of a concern, as the referee might have to stop the game because he's really not moving, but Eastleigh are in possession. Evans, Blair on the right hand side, Eastleigh carrying on. Jarvis looks in real pain. Eastleigh got a couple of players in the box. Evans picks it up, and Yeovil try and counter. Jarvis has now made his way back up to his feet. He's sort of holding his belly, whether someone caught him with a stray elbow. He's screaming over to assistant referee on our near side, who didn't spot anything. I mean, I didn't spot anything either. I was watching the boy in play, so whether someone's left one in on him.
Yeah, he's in conversation with Pierre at the moment. I think those two, that might be the first of a few battles between them this evening.
There's two Eastleigh centre-backs. Quite a few yellows between them as Daly can't keep it in play. It's behind for a throw yet. 16 yellows and 2 reds. As you anticipated really, and they've carried on their little quarrel, and the referee's going to have to intervene.
Yeah, Aaron Jarvis not happy. Clearly feels like he's been done off the ball there by Pierre. Two big lads who are up for a battle for sure, and booking for both of them.
It's not really surprising, because I'm just making a point of how many yellow cards Pierre picks up, and Jarvis is the most cautioned player for Yeovil as well, so that's 19 minutes in. Yellow card each, that little spat. First yellow cards of the game. 0-0 between Yeovil Town and Eastleigh.
Last time we were at Maidstone game, Jarvis got taken off at half time on that yellow, didn't he? So you're just going to have to watch himself again, and he does get involved in the thick of things, and it can become a distraction.
Yeah, Morgan Williams is now having a bit of a tete-a-tete with Aaron Blair. You see restart with a throw-in, which is definitely touched forward from Evans. Now Humphreys midway inside his own half on the right. Blair and Ferguson this time carrying on a little battle off the ball. Pearson gives chase down the right. Plant ushers it behind for a throw-in. His loan's set to expire as well in a couple of days. He's been scuppered by injuries a few times he's been here, which is a shame really, because I think he's a decent versatile player, but he's never really enjoyed a long run in the team because he picks up so many knocks.
Yeah, I think it's finding a position for him as well, because he's at the moment he's doing a job on the left, but he's one of those players for Yeovil who's he's so versatile that he hasn't quite locked down what he is as a player really, in my opinion. Interesting
to see what happens at Port Vale. They've just sacked their manager, of course. There's a foul on Archie Harris. Eastleigh win a free kick in their own half on the left-hand side.
And getting a bit feisty now, isn't it, after that? It's just a bit late from Joe Leaf.
We restart the Wecker playing inside to Pierre, nearly loses his footing. Humphreys on the right-hand side. Sort of tries to bend it into the path almost of Saunders. Picked up from Blair. Backtracking. A Wecker inside to Evans. Another aimed ball for Pearson, brings it down beautifully on the right hand side. Pearson swings the ball in towards the back post, towards the head of Blair, but doesn't reach him because it's beautifully plucked at the air from Ward. Not bad distribution either. Hurls it out to the right hand side to Daly, back inside to Sim, just in his own half. Sims to Jarvis, just past the halfway line, trying to hold off a couple of players. Jarvis plays it out to Joe Leaf, inside to Sims. Not too much room, it's an awful ball. Attempted to find Wannell, I think, left centre back. It's easily picked up from the Eastleigh midfield. Blair over to Harris on the left hand side, faced up from Joe Leaf. There's a low ball across, and Williams has enough time to control and take the ball out of his penalty area and finds Daly well on the Yeovil right. Dispossessed from Harris. Referee looked like he was going to blow his whistle, changed his mind. Lundstrom picks it out. Lundstrom goes to goal, and it's just over the angle of post and crossbar. When he scored on Boxing Day from much closer in, tried his luck again. It's just over. It remains 0-0.
Not a bad hit. Yeovil are a bit rattled at the moment. They can't really get out. Sloppy from Josh Sims in the build-up to that. Conceded the ball so cheaply. But you're seeing there's so much movement from these players. It's quite a fluid system, isn't it? You've got centre-backs coming forward. Jolliffe is going from centre midfield to sort of right wing-back, and still feels a little bit like no one's quite sure where the person they're meant to pass the ball to is going to be at the moment. It's a bit complicated. And
it's Lundstrom who picked them off as Ward's got it back near his penalty spot. Played a lot of his football in the north. Signed from Oldham. He's part of the side that lost here 2-1 near the end of last season, though it didn't stall Oldham and their progress to promotion via the playoffs. 0-0, 22 minutes in. Here on BBC Radio Somerset, also on BBC Sounds tonight. Freeview, channel 714. Lots of options. 95.5 FM, DAB, 1566 medium wave.
Starting to hear the forwards in front of us now.
McCormick trying to adhere to their wishes, but he sort of brushed off the ball for a foul from Kieran Evans. Formerly played under Gary Johnson at Torquay. Gary Johnson stole your summarising job, didn't he, the last home game?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Got a job off the back of it as well, though. So fair play to him. Yeah, in at Taunton, which is, it's quite a coup for that level, I'd say, Gary Johnson, but I'm very biased.
He's picked up the first win against 8-man Gloucester.
Yeah, that helps.
Williams under a bit of pressure, McGavin under more pressure, manages to play it back to Ferguson in his red boots, plays it over the top, the tall centre-back. And for Daly, Sims picks it up. Wait, ricochets to Daly, and there's a previous free kick in Eastleigh's favour after Daly had gone down in the box. Wait, backtracking, but there was an earlier offence, so Eastleigh will restart with a free kick.
Yeah, I think it was Daly and Owika, wasn't it? Got caught up, and foul's gone against Daly there. I think he thought he was on his way to a penalty though. That one, that tackle that followed was would have been given Yeovil's way, but unfortunately not on this occasion.
It was a bit rash from Waite, for Wales under 21 international, alongside Sam Pearson, playing under Paul Bodin. Hit and a play for a throw-in to Yeovil Town, far side from us, one of the Tamrino stand, just in front of the dugouts. Billy Rowley, hands in pockets, thick coat, and surprisingly Scott Bartlett, similar attire. He's only been linked to the Yeovil job. He left Western. And again, Yeovil giving the ball away cheaply as Blair picks it up in midfield, round the corner looking for Saunders, intercepted from Wannell. Hands it up to Joe Leaf. It's come inside for the time being. Now Plant coming from left to middle. And good ball from McGavin, finds Sims in space, just past the halfway line. Plays it further out wide to Daly. Again, he wants to get onto that left foot under a bit of pressure from Harris. That's Joe Leaf. Oh, a little bit late when he missed control going in on Waite. It's just going to be a throw-in to Eastleigh. Heart in mouth then, because it was almost shin high when Jolie still went for the challenge.
It was quite high, wasn't it? Another player might have gone down and made a bit of a meal of that sort of challenge and give the referee a decision to make, but White didn't.
Pierre over the top looking for Saunders, but it's got too much carry on it and straight through into the grateful hands of Jed Ward. Very unfortunate own goal in the last home game against Forest Green. Literally couldn't do anything about it. Williams over to the left hand side. It's too high for Plant and headed away for a Yeovil throw.
Yeah, Yeovil not quite figured this out yet, have they? Not able to get any real rhythm going. Fair play to Eastleigh, they're disrupting, stopping Yeovil, getting the ball forward, and when it is in those final third sort of area, they're really pressing and stopping Yeovil have any real time on the ball.
Well, firm challenge from Humphreys, deemed as fair from the referee, is picked up from Blair on the right hand side, trying to get away from McGavin. That's on the afterburners, and that's not a fair challenge. He's sort of ploughed through him a little bit. Flag from assistant referee Gregors Konasevic on the far side. It's going to be a free kick to Yeovil Town in their own half. 0-0, just gone 26 minutes.
It's only going to wind Aaron Jarvis up even more, isn't it? That tackle from Humphreys, it was from behind, but got the ball, and Jarvis wanted the foul as he always does, but yeah, allowed Eastleigh to break.
1-1, kind of ball forward, pass inside again, anticipated from Eastleigh, run it back from Saunders. Gives Blair another chase down the right. This time Morgan Williams should be there to cover. Brings it back inside to Ward. He sort of looked like he was going to go long. And he's tricked the opposition and gone short to Wannell.
He's losing the ball so cheaply in those areas, though, aren't we? Wannell for Jarvis again. Sims earlier. That rhythm, that pattern isn't there at the moment, and I think that's why Yeovil are conceding the ball so easily.
Well chested down from Jarvis, just past halfway. He's got planting room on the left hand side, but he opted against the crossfield ball. Now he's got Evans in close quarters. Back inside to Joe Leaf. Now Daly, midway inside the Eastleigh half, tight to the right touchline. McGavin again. Eastleigh getting players behind the ball. All of them in their own half at the moment. Yeovil in possession on halfway with Williams. Across to Kyle Ferguson, the Scot. Now Joe Leaf. And Sims benefits from a slip from Wecker. Wide right of the penalty area. Plays it across low. It's tapped in, yes! Yeovil have scored! McCormick! And it was all down really to the slip in the Eastleigh defence. Yeovil took full advantage. 28 minutes in. Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 0.
Well, a massive stroke of luck for Yeovil Town there. A Wecker slip allows Josh Sims with the freedom of the 18-yard box to pick the pass, and there's Luke McCormick. Does it again, puts Yeovil ahead, but massive stroke of fortune for the Glovers there. Wecker doesn't lose his feet, that goal does not happen.
Luke McCormick, who's Yeovil's top scorer this season, that's his 7th. He's also their top goal scorer in 2025. And it was a composed finish really, first time he was left in room, because I mean it's all down to that slip in the defence. The first real mistake Eastleigh have made in their own half. They've been pretty solid and resolute and hard to break down. And credit to Sims, it was a good pick out as well to McCormick, who just first time finish, gave goalkeeper Townsend no chance, and Yeovil's first real threat as the opening goal, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely, and that man Josh Sims under no real pressure because of that slip and was able to pick his pass, still had to do it though, and yeah, McCormick just strokes it home into the far corner, and yeah, Yeovil got something to build on now and try and get a bit of momentum.
They've got some defending to do now with Saunders wide left of the penalty area. Good covering from Morgan Williams, who's adamant that it's come last off the Eastleigh man. This hasn't, according to the referee. It's going to be a corner to Eastleigh on their left. I can see Morgan Williams after the goal as well, really geeing up the fans at the Thatchers, who are a long way behind from seeing it, 100 yards or so at the other end. But now they have a close view of watching Yeovil defend this corner. bent in towards the near post. Well headed away from Jarvis coming back. Now Sims, who created that goal. Lundstrom, who took the corner, nearly took it back off him, and Jolie's clearance is just a desperate one, really. Straight in the touch. The Screwfix community stand out for a Yeovil, for an Eastleigh throw, I should say, which Harris is getting ready to take to Blair. Wide left. Somehow keeps the ball in play. Cleared from Ferguson. That's really got the fans going as well, because it hadn't been happening for Yeovil. So that bit of luck they needed, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'd say it's against the run of play, but certainly Yeovil haven't really created anything up until that point. And Eastleigh had a good couple of efforts at goal. Certainly got their flow now.
Possession on the right hand side. Ball in, looks too high for Blair. It's taken from Ward, who again throws it to the right hand side to Daly to take the ball in his stride. Harris having to come back with him. Jarvis is up in front of him. Eastleigh have got very quickly like 7 men behind the ball, almost in an instant. Hard work from Scott Bartlett's men. It means that Yeovil have to be patient and start again from the back.
Yeah, they did get back in numbers, and so quickly as well. Yeovil looked to be in a good position with Daly running with the ball and Sims for company and Jarvis up there, but had to check back because of those numbers. Well defended.
Ferguson forced to play it back to Ward. Third appearance against Eastleigh, all for different clubs. As Humphreys volleys it back forward, straight back to Ward, who managed to gather just inside his penalty area and again throws it out quickly. Yeovil in possession with McCormick, the goal scorer, on the left hand side. Inside to McGavin. Now Joliffe striding forward with purpose, forcing Eastleigh back. Picked up again. Yeovil off and run. McCormick on the left hand side gets the ball into the near post, well chested away though from Humphreys. And Lundstrom is dispossessed. It's going to be a throw in to Eastleigh.
Yeah, I think it looked like the ref took a bit of a guess on that one. Or he'd give it to the defending team, but good little pattern of play there in the corner. Neat passes, got Yeovil forward, all from Brett McGavin, just thinking a little bit forward and getting the ball to Jolliffe, who was able to run through.
Daly picking the ball up near the edge of the box. Evans lunged in late, as did Daly after. The referee said there was nothing wrong doing. It's Humphreys who went to ground. Eastleigh back in possession this time on the near side, their left, with Harris inside to Evans. Straddling across the halfway line, as to Pearson. Left for Scott Bartlett's Weston-super-Mare over a year ago. He was, I think, lined up to go to Torquay before Weston stepped in the last minute. As Evans over the top looking for Blair, again it's too long. Yeovil will be happy with that, won't they? They're restricting them to sort of ambitious long balls forward.
Yeah, I think so. And Morgan Williams, as quick as Blair is, Morgan Williams is quite comfortable in a foot race as well. He's certainly the quickest of that three, and he's been a big miss while he's been out. And already tonight, I think we've seen him show what Yeovil have missed while he's been out through that suspension.
Plant on the left-hand side. I think Joe Leaf's role has been quite interesting. He sort of started out wide right. He's definitely become more central as the game's gone on. Sims this time on right wing back almost. Joe Leaf's got it again. Passing from Yeovil. Daly tried maybe a trip too much, but he's got the ball back. Waits assistance not enough to win it back, and he's lunging in, almost connected with back of his calf really. Fortunately didn't. Daly's got it back. And that's a foul. A little bit of afters with Evans, who I think was going to help Daly back up to his feet. Said it's just a free kick to Yeovil Town. Oh, goodness me. McGavin took it quickly. He's given it straight back to Way. I spot the intention, but he got it all wrong, and it's now gone behind for an Eastleigh throw.
So poor. Just really, really poor to kick it straight to someone who's
literally just passed it straight back to him. Yeah.
Just dreadful. Especially it was a good, decent position as well. You know, you could have got defenders forward, put something in the box, just take a bit of sting out of the game.
Again, they've won it back well. Daly to Sims on the right hand side. Low ball across is blocked from Pierre. Daly on the right hand side. swings the ball in. That's not a good delivery. It's easily brought down, controlled and cleared from Evans over the top. It's a good ball actually to Blair. He might get there before Williams. He's got Harris behind him. Blair, one player waiting in the middle in Saunders. And he's won a corner. And that wasn't just an aimless long ball forward. That was deliberately placed, and it's won another set piece for the visitors, who still trail by a goal to nil with exactly 35 minutes played.
Yeah, Eastleigh have got a great outlet in Blair, who will chase down all those seemingly lost causes. Like I said, it was put into a good area, but he's got that energy and pace about him where he'll put the pressure on a defender, and he's done it to Morgan Williams and put his team in a lovely area to get back on level terms.
Corner to Eastleigh. Near side the left in front of the Thatchers. Towards the near post, well headed away again from Jarvis. He's done well these set pieces, helping his team selflessly. And that yellow card early as Waite. A floated ball over to Pearson. Again, a really good first touch. And that's Ferguson. I think he's been caught in the air, courageously heading it away. It's going to be a free kick to Yeovil.
Yeah, put his head into danger there, didn't he, to clear that ball away, and got a boot for his troubles. Just take the sting out of things, because again, it was a good, decent ball in the set piece from Eastleigh, and Sam Pearson with loads of freedom on that right hand side again to put stuff into the box.
He's been a threat so far. He came off the bench the last couple of games. There's Blair, another threat down the left hand side, and Ferguson is brought down. Played in Rochdale's 4-0 win against Eastleigh last April, Kyle Ferguson, and he's been a regular under Billy Rowley. What have you made of his form of late?
Yeah, he plays with such passion, doesn't he? He's a really sort of battling defender. I think in this way Billy's got us playing in terms of passing out from the back. I thought against Forest Green, I think he was a bit sloppy with the ball, as we've seen tonight with plenty of the players. Not the best passer out, but in terms of battling defender who will give his all, he is that.
Evans brings it down in midfield, plays it at the top. Again, they're relying on the pace of Blair. He should get there first before Ferguson, and gets enough on the ball. Plays it against one of the spare balls, sidelines. It's going to be a throw-in to Eastleigh, which is taken quickly. Evans curls one in near the penalty spot. Saunders heads it, I think inadvertently, all the way across goal. Harris picks it up on the left-hand side, near the byline. Digs out across, or intended cross to the back post. He's got too much lift on it. Behind for a goal kick. Father Andy's a former Eastleigh player, Archie Harris. Played for them in the late 2000s, before they reached the National League. They're the longest serving continuous members this division, 2014. They won promotion, won National League South. Progressive club. They built up the ground as Yeovil trying to play out from the back with 1-1 now. Searching ball to the left hand side, easily headed away though from Humphreys. Films for offside against McCormick. He came back from an offside position. Free kick to Eastleigh.
Yeah, it's hard when you're in those positions. Maybe McCormick didn't think that ball was going to come back his way because he was so clearly offside, but yeah, just tighten those bits up. Jarvis could have probably brought that down and maybe taken a bit of time on it, but
it's a poor ball from Humphreys back to his keeper. Townsley did well to get good connection on the half volley towards halfway. Wannell heads it forward. Jarvis, Daly giving chase, so moved from right to left, but Humphreys there to cover. And McGavin picks it up in midfield in front of the dugouts. Quick little swivel away from trouble. That move breaks down. It's going to be a throw into Eastleigh. Also, Aldershot lead Wealdstone by 2-1. Bournemouth 1, Solihull Moors 1. Forest Green 1, Truro 1. Scunthorpe 1, Gateshead 0. Southend 1, Sutton 0. Halifax winning 2-0 at Tamworth. Tamworth went down 7-1 on Boxing Day. Solihull Moors, Woking 0, Braintree 1. Braintree here on Saturday in the evening kick-off. Early evening, 5:30, and of course Yeovil leading Eastleigh by a goal to 0 here. BBC Radio Somerset. Eastleigh in possession with Lundstrom over to the left-hand side now with Harris advanced. Ball towards the penalty spot. It's well helped away from Ferguson. Sims slips but manages to play it to Daly. Now 1-1. Over to Plant on the left-hand side. McCormick, in fact, it was Plant who'd made an advance run. Eastleigh trying to start something with Pearson on the right-hand side. Tony's on the ball. The booze inside to Lundstrom. Low ball across, and it's helped out for a corner. The Boos aren't putting off Sam Pearson. He's been very impressive, I think, in these opening 40 minutes. He's been Eastleigh's most creative spark. He's won another corner.
I'm not sure why he's getting booed, to be honest with you. And certainly made his mark in a Yeovil Town shirt. I think many were disappointed to see him leave. So yeah, he's having a bit of joy. That's only going to spur him on, I think, on that right-hand side.
Waite receives a short corner from Harris just outside the penalty area, chips it to the back post, too high though for Pierre, and it's behind for a goal kick.
McGavin was on Pierre then, wasn't he? I think he's having a word with the referee, putting himself about tonight. Is Pierre in both boxes?
His experience, at least. He was on Brentford's books when they lost to Yeovil in the 2013 League One playoff final. He wasn't in the squad back then. He signed from Shrewsbury in the summer. 25 caps for Grenada. Playing a couple of qualifying wins over St Kitts and Nevis, among others. And Bahamas in the summers. Offside in Eastleigh's favour, which Pearson's trying to take around 15 yards inside the Yeovil half, which wouldn't quite work. A couple of minutes till half time. 1-0 Yeovil. Goal from Luke McCormick. Been involved in pretty much every goal since Billy Rowley took over. I think all of them bar Josh Tobin's header against Maidstone. The others he's got goals or assists. There's a head injury, I think. Ferguson needs treatment. After a bit of a tussle with with Pierre, and it's going to be another opportunity for the physios to storm across and check the health of the Yeovil centre-back.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of frustration from the Eastleigh players on that one. Jake Wonnell, Oweke in conversation with the referee. Sam Pearson's there as well. Carl Ferguson's got 3 physios to attend to him. Didn't look to be too much in it, but can't be too cautious with a head injury.
There's going to be quite a lot of added time, isn't there, at the end of this first half? We had that long stoppage for Richard Brindley, who came off the 10th minute, and now Ferguson's got 3 medical people checking his well-being. An opportunity for players to have a drink. See Sam Pearson chatting to a few of his former teammates.
Yeah, he's the only Eastleigh player left over there. So, we got another one, but yeah, clearly just having a catch up.
Yeah, I forgot who he was playing for a moment. I mean, he scored in this fixture before for Yeovil, albeit at Eastleigh, 1-1 draw. So nothing between them really is.
I don't know if you come in on this side of the stadium or the main stand side, Mark, but his picture's still on the ticket office window from the National League South winning season, so that would have been weird for him to pull up and see himself in a different shirt on the side of the ground.
No, I come in this near side where certainly no pictures of Sam. No pictures of anybody, actually. There should be one of you lying around here. You've been here long enough, maybe.
Nobody needs that.
Name the press box after you at some point.
No, it's quite alright. The last owner would have scrubbed me out, but my picture was on the ball anyway.
It's going to be a drop ball to Eastleigh because they were in possession. Referee's going to leave it to Archie Harris, Weymouth born, 21-year-old. He's on a season loan from Bournemouth. Once we're ready to get back underway, Harris is very eager to. Plays it short to Waite. And came on early. Crossfield ball. It's headed back into the air from Oweke over to Pearson. Plant as well to turn and clear. We're in the final minute of the 45, but certainly not the final minute of the half. I reckon there's going to be about 6 minutes added on. In this National League game between Yeovil Town and Eastleigh, which Yeovil leading by a goal to 0. Goal from Luke McCormick. There's Waite, plays it back to Humphreys. Long one over the top for Blair. Yeovil wants to get Ferguson back on, but Blair might have an opportunity. Yeah, he shoots, but Not enough power in it, too close to Jed Ward, who gathers, and now Kyle Ferguson can trot back on. Blair exploited the gap because it was over sort of his area of the field where Ferguson would have been in the way, no doubt. Blair unable to make a significant impact there, remains 1-0 Yeovil.
Good chance though, wasn't it, if he caught that cleanly. I think Jed Ward would have a bit more of a job to do there, but Morgan Williams was having a chat with Max Joliffe about that one. I think that was his role to pick up Blair there, and in absence of Ferguson, and he didn't do the job.
He's only got 1 goal since the end of September. That was at Gateshead the other week. 8 minutes, I think that reads. He added on. It's a ball down the channel for Blair to give chase. Just got there first. And final touches off 1-1 for an Eastleigh throw. So plenty of time left in this first half, as we expected.
Eastleigh might fancy their chances here to bring it level.
As Blair's nearly skipped in behind, and Ward has dropped it and feels for a penalty, and it's given. I mean, it was a bit of miscommunication, I think, initially in the Yeovil back line. It was Saunders who nicked in and was caught, and Eastleigh have a spot kick to try and get back on terms.
Well, we've talked about conceding poor goals before this game. That was so sloppy at the back, just absolutely self-inflicted. No one taking ownership in the box and getting rid of it, and it's a late tackle, one in the box by the substitute, and Eastleigh could get back on level terms pretty quickly.
Well, it's at the end where we had the penalty shootout the other week against Maidstone, where Jed Ward stopped 2 of them. It's going to be Aaron Blair to take. Scored 1 from the spot this season. Supporters behind the goal. Torches on their phone to try and put Blair off, which they don't, because he has comprehensively sent Jed Ward the wrong way, just inside the left post. A good penalty from Blair. Kneels down in front of the Yeovil fans, rubbing it in a little bit. You can see a Wecker with a sort of shush motion. 2 minutes into first half, additional time. It's Yeovil time 1, Eastleigh 1.
Yeah, I don't know if you can't say that's not deserved. I don't think Eastleigh on balance of this first half, they've certainly put Yeovil under pressure. Yeovil's goal came from a massive stroke of fortune, and Eastleigh have put Yeovil under a lot of pressure, and they're soaking up this equalising goal in stoppage time as the Eastleigh supporters let off a blue flare on that terrace.
Well, I was here when the stewards were having their consultation before the game, and they were pre-warned that there was going to be some pyrotechnics this evening, and they're proved right. And that terrace behind the goal, a few of them now keeping an eye on those supporters. You can see sort of blue smoke coming across. It's Eastleigh trying to attack again down the right hand side with Blair. His 8th goal of the season. 2-2 away from home, opposite ends of the country. And again, a sort of choreographed routine with the celebration. He sort of did a faint 100 metres at Gateshead the other week in the athletics track, as Evans manages to take the ball off McCormack, sort of on the blind side. Cleared first time from Townsend, headed away from Ferguson.
Probably a nice problem to have, to think up some celebrations if you score that many goals.
Pretty prolific in step 1 and 2. Sims midway inside his own half and only ran into Lundstrom. But as you said, Ian, it was really self-inflicted. Yeovil had a couple of opportunities to clear. I'm not sure really it was Ward's ball to go and get, and because he just spilt it, it led to the penalty. But Yeovil back on the attack now with Sims, 30 yards out. Too many blue shirts in his way, has to go right to Joliffe. Daly again wants to get onto his left foot. Plays it short though, and it's picked up from the Eastleigh midfield as Blair's away on the left-hand side. Fed from Lundstrom. Blair trying to come in field, but to Lundstrom, and it's an absolutely atrocious shot, to put it mildly. He's sliced straight across the ball, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in, not really even close to the corner flag.
Oh dear, I mean really poor. James Daly again having a bit of a nightmare on this side. Has conceded possession really cheaply, and again, it's that man Blair. He'll be frustrated with his teammate. He manages to get Eastleigh into a nice position, and yeah, that shot was really, really bad.
Less said about it, the better. Over the top, nearly flicked on towards Blair, and it's follow-up shot, Stingle taken out of it and taken from Ward. It was Saunders with it. He's been on good goal-scoring form recently, actually. In other competitions mainly, he's got a couple in the FA Trophy, more than just the league. They host Southport in that, whereas Yeovil, of course, play Old Church. It's the start of 3 successive home games for Yeovil. There's Evans got the ball in his own half. We played 5 minutes of additional time, 5 of 8, over the top towards Pearson, who's onside again. There's a delicious first touch, and he's drawn a free kick off Wannell. And it's a promising position, actually, for EC. It's a yellow card as well for Jake Wannell. Free kick to EC around 20 yards out right of centre.
I think it's Plant who's got the. I think it was Plant got the booking. Plant's the one who pulled him down. But how many times has that pass been on? Sam Pearson's got the freedom of the right-hand side, and it's a great ball from Evans. Those two linking up nicely, and Plant's had to get back in, conceded the foul, and we're still into this 8 minutes of stoppage time, and Yeovil started it 1-0 up, and now they're under a lot of pressure again from another set piece.
Yeah, I said it was a dramatic end when Yeovil played EC last season. That was at the end of the second half. This time at the end of the first half, it's Humphreys over the top of it with Harris, left footer and right footer. 3 players in the Yeovil wall. Harris, straight at the goalkeeper.
Pretty comfortable one for Jed Ward there.
Yeah, a bit of afters again, which we've seen a running theme really this evening. It was a Wecker, bit of a barge on Ward as he went to clear. He's got to be careful of Wecker. He's on 9 yellow cards this season in the league, so he picks up another. He's going to have a 2-match ban coming up. 7 minutes of first half additional time played, 1-1 between Yeovil Town and Eastleigh.
Certainly putting themselves about Eastleigh. I think they possibly see that Yeovil might not be up for that side of the game, that physical battle. Some you can criticise them for as being too nice at the moment, these Yeovil players, and Eastleigh are making the most of that.
Oh, ironic, Yeovil have got one of the worst disciplinary records in the league, actually. More in terms of yellow cards.
Yeah, I think it's the Warriors. There's no real battlers, I don't think, in this team, and that's a bit of a concern.
Yeah, it's yellow cards for other sort of daft things, really, rather than too sinister. It's laid off to Lundstrom midway inside the Yeovil half. Well battled and won back fairly from McGavin, who wins a free kick. And again, there's a little bit of after. There's Waite. There's a few words. The Yeovil midfielder who's sat on his backside at the moment.
Waite's been on quite a mission since he come on early doors, hasn't he? He's really putting himself about, not afraid to ruffle feathers in that area, and in with the tackles as well.
Back to Jed Ward. Just over 8 minutes of first half additional time played. There'll be a little bit more because Eastleigh have scored in that period to make it 1-1. As Joe Leaf's got it on the right hand side. Tries to get it to Sims. His touch back to Daly doesn't reach him. Intercepted from Evans, who's done well at that, really. So crops up in those areas, so seems to know where the ball's going to be and mops things up for his side. Wannell nods it down. Evans with a little touch back to Pearson, inside to Waite. He's in between 2 Yeovil players and draws a free kick for a foul from Jarvis.
Evans seems to be first to everything, doesn't he, in those little pockets of space. He's just lovely little one-touch passes to keep the ball ticking over. Also playing those nice passes out to Sam Pearson as well.
He signed in the summer from Cardiff, the Welshman, turned 24 just over a week ago. He's been on books of Linfield and Torquay, Gateshead, Newport, a nomadic career for relatively youngsters. Humphrey slips, he takes a free kick. Now past 9 minutes of first half additional time, and there goes the half-time whistle. It's Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1. Yeovil took the lead through Luke McCormick on 28 minutes, largely benefiting from a slip from Temiaweka, where well pulled back from Sims to McCormick with a cool first-time finish. Guy did it into the corner past the outstretched Nick Townsend. Eastleigh had a few chances themselves and finally got back on level terms in first half additional time. A lot of it, mainly because to an early injury to Richard Brinley. It was a penalty one from Harvey Saunders, and Aaron Blair dispatched it well, sending Jed Ward the wrong way to get Eastleigh a leveller, which I'd say they deserve. It's had a bit of a needle though, a bit of an edge to this game. See Aaron Jarvis having a word with the officials. They leave the pitch. It's 1-1 and all to play for, Ian.
Yeah, it is, yeah, and I think, Eastleigh will go in with quite a bit of confidence at half-time, I think, after that, and Yeovil feels a bit flat here, doesn't it, at Hewish Park. I think that goal has really taken the air out of the stadium a little bit, and the only solace they have is that they're attacking towards the Thatcher's End in this second half, and hopefully that can bring that energy and bring a bit of something to this performance, because Yeovil were lucky to go ahead with the first goal and haven't really shown a great deal, I think, in terms of control of the ball, controlling the game and playing on their own terms. So yeah, a lot of work to do in that second half for sure.
So half time here at Hewish Park. It's Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1.
Thank you, Mark. Ian, you would have liked to have hoped that the as you said, the Luke McCormick goal came out of kind of against the run of play. How disappointed are you that goal didn't really kick Yeovil up a gear?
Really disappointed. I think, often when you score a goal from sort of a free-flowing move and things sort of click and it comes together, that builds the confidence. But this was just such a massive stroke of fortune with the slip that allowed Yeovil to get the goal, and they've not really shown any sort of control of the game, not showing any real stamp of authority particularly, and that'll be a concern for Billy Rowley, I think. It's obviously they're working hard in training to make things happen, but at the moment it's not really showing on the pitch during matches. This sort of recent performances have not built on what he did in the early games when he was in charge. So he's got his work to do, and the players are really players seem to really be struggling to find that pattern of play to make things happen.
Billy has already shown that he's willing to make substitutes at half-time, be that for tactical reasons or what have you. Do you feel that anything needs to change here, or do you think that actually the right team talk, a new set of instructions to the players that are currently on the field will do the trick?
It's a hard one, really. Obviously he works with them every day, knows what they're about, and for me the massive square peg in the round hole is James Daly on this right hand side. He's had a really poor game tonight. He's so left-footed that when the ball comes out to him on this right hand side, he has to check back in, and it really slows things down. And for me it's just a real sort of no-brainer to get him out on the left side where he's been more comfortable, but for whatever reason he's sort of persevering with this. I know he did it against Truro, did it against Maidstone as well before he was forced to make the change when Whittle got injured. So he clearly sees something with Daly being on the right. But yeah, for me that's a change that I'd make, just to swap sides and get Plant on the other side. It's an easy one that he can do, but at the moment it's those errors at the back which are causing the problems. The penalty was totally self-inflicted. Yeovil, it's quite easy, just put the ball out for a corner or a throw-in in the position the ball was, but decided to shield it, lost possession, and then it caused a series of last-ditch tackles, last-ditch efforts that lead to the penalty. And yeah, it's those errors at the back which are also starting to cost us now.
Well, Ian, I'll let you go and have a break, hopefully warm up. Has it gotten any better? Have you got the heaters on underneath?
No, there's no heat in here. We just got extra gloves, that's all it is, Jack.
I know that all too well, mate. All right, Ian, thank you very much. Go get warm, and we'll speak to you for the second half. That's Ian Perkins and Glovers Cast there, part of our commentary team, alongside Mark Stillman at Hewish Park. If you are just joining us here on BBC Radio Somerset, I'm Jack Kyler. This is the midweek match. It is Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1 at half-time in the National League at Hewish Park. Luke McCormick put Yeovil in the lead. Aaron Blair then pegged them back with a penalty in the 47th minute, with 2 minutes added on, 8 minutes of added time after an early injury for Eastleigh as well.
The players.
I think winning at home's got to be the best feeling for a player. If it needs to be a fortress, we need to go there and be like, look, this is our house. No one's coming here and getting the 3 points.
The manager.
I'm really enjoying their character and their resilience. Been unsettled for a variety of reasons, but I've noticed that they're still giving everything in training, and I think we've got a lot of quality in the group as well.
Follow Yeovil Town on BBC Sounds.
As owners, we want to bring in progressive front foot football. That's the blueprint we've been going after. A lot of big teams have done this in the past. We want to make sure that is a blueprint we start from.
Just search for Yeovil Town on BBC Sounds and hit subscribe.
BBC Radio Somerset.
We're looking through the half times in the Premier League. A bunch of 7:30 kickoffs tonight, so they're already well into their second halves. Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1, West Ham 2, Brighton 1. They're all in about between the 50th and 55th minute in those games. Arsenal against Aston Villa is 0-0. That kicked off at 8:15, so they've been playing for about half an hour. And Manchester United 1-0 up against Wolves, bottom of the table. Wolves, Xerxes with the goal there. Elsewhere in the National League, Aldershot leading 3-1 against Wealdstone, Altrincham 0, York 1, Boreham Wood 2, Solihull 1, Boston 1, Brackley Town 0, Carlisle 1, Morecambe 0, Forest Green 1, Truro 1, Rochdale 0, Hartlepool 2, Scunthorpe 1, Gateshead 0, Southend 1, Sutton 0, Tamworth 0, Halifax 2, and Woking 0, Braintree 1. Obviously, Yeovil versus Eastleigh, our commentary game tonight. They're heading down to the National League South. It's half-time between Bath and Torquay. That is 0-0. And Weston leading against Salisbury 1-0. Another Louis Britton goal there, putting them 1-0 up. So a few interesting score lines across. We will head back to Hewish Park for the second half of Yeovil against Eastleigh shortly. But going to play a really interesting interview here. It'll take about 5 minutes. And it's all to do with Surrey and Botham, of course, legend in these parts. And the whole conversation about does the dominance of football negatively impact other sports, and in particular cricket? Now, that's a question that's been put to two men who play both sports but chose one over the other. Former England captain Sir Ian Botham, of course, played for Somerset, chose cricket over football, though still played as a defender for both Yeovil and Scunthorpe. Former England goalkeeper Joe Hart was a talented young cricketer but chose football as his career. They've been speaking to the BBC's Amal Rajan about how they came to the choices which they made.
You don't think about money when you're 15. You think about getting out there and scoring hundreds. And I was scoring hundreds from the age of about 9. I think I made the right choice.
I think a lot of people might back that and say history would approve. But Joe, what about you? Just how good were you at cricket?
I was very similar. I was just nowhere near as far down the line at my local team, Shrewsbury Town. I was training with the first team from 14, and they just had things set. They had things on the table for me that they could offer me a kind of a pathway. Whereas cricket was something I absolutely adored, but it wasn't something that someone could put in front of me and say, look, this is what we see is going to happen in your future.
Ian, is there an issue in our mainstream state schools where most schools in this country, primary to some extent, but certainly secondary schools, will have one or several football teams, but they might not necessarily have a cricket team, and that might be to do with cost? Because with any sports team, you've got to pay for the transport, but in the end, with football, you need a football. Whereas with cricket, there was always this issue when I was growing up in the 1990s that the kit was so expensive. There's bats, there's balls, there's helmets, there's pads, there's all the rest of it. We had something called the quick cricket revolution, but I still think you'd find that most state schools don't necessarily have a cricket side, and that's often to do with cost, whereas almost all of them will have at least one or possibly several football sides.
You're absolutely right. One of the problems is the equipment, the cost, whereas, football, you need, a couple of shirts, goal, and, football, and off you go. There's a lot more to it than that. And cricket bats now, for instance, proper ones are, ridiculous amounts of money. You're talking hundreds of pounds for a bat that could break after about, a week. 2 weeks. So it is an expensive sport.
Joe, Ian mentions the price of cricket bats, some of which are, they're completely ridiculous, needlessly expensive. But there's also the issue, Joe, of helmets. So safety regulations that are being brought in now mean that young players have to bat with helmets. Do you think that those sorts of safety regulations, which add to the cost, might, as it were, cost us future great cricketers as well, Joe?
They might cost future great cricketers, but they also might cost lives if you don't have them. So they're an absolute necessity. That's been proven. Cricket done wrong is dangerous. No getting away from it.
I don't think when you've actually got the equipment and you've got the ball hitting the helmet or whatever, but you need to play on good surfaces. And that's the other problem. Whereas football, you can play in a field. it's a case of making the best of what you've got. But it's a lot easier to do that with football than it is cricket.
Joe, you moved very successfully into football punditry, of course. There's this argument you often hear from traditionalists in cricket who say it was a big problem for English cricket that it came off terrestrial television. Everyone agrees that, Sky Sports have been fantastic broadcasters, but do you think that cricket has lost out a bit from coming off terrestrial TV? Because you never hear people say that about football, really.
I think maybe that would have been the case maybe 10 years ago. I think that would have been fair. But I think now it's so accessible for, like kids nowadays, I sound old, but kids nowadays, they don't necessarily watch like a TV. They wouldn't even know how to put a TV on and flick through channels 1 to 5. It would all be done digitally, and they all know what they're doing and how to get it. And often cricket and football and all other sports are watched through clips.
Ian, would you go along with that?
When I first joined Sky 25 years ago, or whatever, it's 26 years ago, their objective was to make people think they're at home and sitting in their armchair, but they're actually there with the players, because they brought in all extra different cameras and shapes and sizes and etc., things going across the sky and all sorts. But now they paid so much money for the football rights. There's no one here, no Sky team here in Australia for the Ashes. Yeah. Now that is worrying.
Joe, can I just ask you finally, you've seen both sports at a very high level. Do you think that there's something that they can learn from each other?
I feel for cricket because it's making so much effort to make it relevant to younger players with all the different formats. It's gone from being quite a plain game to watch, and just you'd only watch it for the love of the sport. But now with the way they do the low and over games and the drama and the theatrics that come with it. So I think cricket's doing everything it possibly can. And football's just been such a lucky sport. So simple and followed. It's not really had to adapt. It's still 90 minutes. It's still, 2:45s each way, 11 aside. But I think cricket, credit to it, is doing everything it possibly can to stay relevant and keep people excited and engaged.
Well, I was going to end by asking Ian this, but I've got to come to you on this first, Joe. What have you made of the England performance, if performance is an accurate word in Australia?
I like people doing what they're good at, and I like people believing in what they're doing. So I got sold the dream. I was willing to let them go and absolutely go for it, and I was going to back them the whole way. But it was tough. It was really tough to watch.
Ian, Joe is being very diplomatic in his language there, and rightly so. But what have you made of this Ashes performance?
I said 2 months before they left England to come to Australia, the preparation they were going to have is a complete and utter waste of time. In Perth, we were 100 for 1, and we lost that game in 2 days. That tells me that everything's not right. The players think they could just go out and smack it. They're playing against Australia. They have always been and always will be tough opponents.
Really interesting conversation between former England goalkeeper Joe Hart and former England captain, Somerset's captain, Sir Ian Botham, speaking of the BBC's Amal Rajan there. You can hear that on BBC Sounds, heading over there. We're going to head back to Hewish Park shortly. We're going to take you around a few of the other grounds at the moment, check some of the other scores. In the Premier League, it remains Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1, West Ham 2, Brighton 1, and Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1, Wolves 1, 0, still both in the first halves of those games. There were 8:15 kickoffs. There was a late one there. Right. Yeovil 1, Eastleigh 1. Can they do anything in this second half? Here's the story of the first half.
Sims benefits from a slip from Mweka, wide right of the penalty area, plays it across low. It's tapped in, yes, Yeovil have scored. McCormick, and it was all down really to the slip in the Eastleigh defence. Yeovil took full advantage, 28 minutes in, Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 0. Blair's nearly skipped in behind and Warders dropped it and feels for a penalty and it's given. I mean, it was a bit of miscommunication, I think, initially in the Yeovil back line. It was Saunders who nicked in and was caught, and Eastleigh have a spot kick to try and get back on terms. Supporters behind the goal, torches on their phone to try and put Blair off, which they don't, because he has comprehensively sent Jed Ward the wrong way, just inside the left post. A good penalty from Blair. Kneels down in front of the Yeovil fans, rubbing it in a little bit. You can see a Mweka with a sort of shush motion. 2 minutes into first half, additional time. It's Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1.
That was the story of the first half at Hewish Park. We will keep you up to date with how Weston are getting on their game against Salisbury, and also Bath playing as well this evening at Twerton Park. But for now, it's time to rejoin our commentary team this evening. So let's head back to Hewish Park for Yeovil Town against Eastleigh in the National League here on BBC Radio Somerset. Your commentary team, Ian Perkins of Glover's Cast, and first, Mark Stillman.
Yeah, perfect timing, Jack. Both teams have just returned to the second half. Of course, the first half we had 8 minutes, well, nearly 9 minutes really, of additional time. So we're going to be a late finish here at Hewish Park. It's 1-1 at the break. If you're just tuning in, Luke McCormick's goal on 28 minutes cancelled out by Aaron Blair. Both teams top scorers on target in that scrappy, I'd say largely, first half. It was disrupted by the early injury to Brindley. It's had a bit of a needle, bit of an edge to it, and I'd say Eastleigh deserved to be at least on level terms at the break, Ian.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think they're going to come out in this second half and go for it, because I think the manager will think that we're here to be got at a little bit, so hopefully Billy Rowley's G'd his side up and got them ready to come out in this second half and put on a performance, because that first half wasn't brilliant from the Glovers.
No changes at the break for either team. Eastleigh will get the second half underway, attacking from left to right. The ground staff have been on to sort out a few of the divots on the turf. Josh Lundstrom over the top of the ball. Referee Harrison Blair blows his whistle, and we're back underway as Evans, who controlled things largely in midfield for Eastleigh in the first half, to Pearson on the right, chips one over the top, looking for Blair. Taken back on from McCormick, who goes down. Free kick to Yeovil. We were discussing at half time, we were saying about what sort of forward players Yeovil need, and one for Eastleigh's been pretty handy this evening, Ian.
Yeah, one of those classic strikers. They reminds me of, like, Gary Johnson always used to sign a striker who'd run down everything, chase all those lost causes, and would earn his goals through his hard work and running. And yeah, Blair's got a touch of that about him. He gets down the channels and puts defenders under pressure. Nippy, pacey striker, exactly what Yeovil are missing up front at the moment.
Hard work is how you can describe Eastleigh this evening, really, as Yeovil are back underway with the throw, and Plant on the left gets in a ball base straight to the hands of Nick Townsend. He didn't have too much to do in the first half. The former Antigua and Barbuda international, formerly Birmingham. He first made a squad actually for a League Cup game here for them back in August 2013. As Eastleigh on the attack down the left hand side with Harris advancing forward, gets ball into the middle and it's ricocheted back against Blair, who didn't know much about it. Come last off the front man and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, could break down that left side. Carl Ferguson was chasing with all his might, but couldn't get down there quick enough, and yeah, luckily for Yeovil, that ricochet header goes out for a goal kick. But showing intent early on, Eastleigh.
Yeah, despite that early substitution, when they lost Brindley, forced them to swap things around. And he got injured after about 3 minutes, really, and we had the long hold up. As Yeovil back in possession with Ferguson on the right hand side. Played 2 minutes of the second half, 1-1 on BBC Radio Somerset. Joe Leaf feeds it down the right hand side. Daly battering away, and Sims. A couple of appeals for free kicks, referee not giving any of them. Eastleigh now on the attack with Lundstrom midway inside the Yeovil half, inside to Waite. Came on early. Humphreys on the right hand side, low ball in, isn't controlled from Pearson, but it's cleared from the covering Ferguson, and back towards halfway. A couple of decent looking crosses already so far, the visitors. Scott Bartlett's team is 1-1. The fair challenge on Lundstrom, and then back to Sims, trying to open things up over to Daly on the right hand side. Again has to check back inside. A Wecker sliding in and make sure the ball goes out of play. It's a throw in the Yeovil.
Yeah, good balls in again. We'll getting the ball forward, but again, it's once it gets up to James Daly, what's his next step? Who's he got around him to get the ball to? Even from this throw-in, there's no one moving for him to get the ball to. Gives it to McGavin now, but he will lose a ball.
Win it back. Sims near the edge of the area, lays it off. Now with Plant coming in from the left-hand side. Plant with the right-footed shot, deflects off the head of Humphreys, had his hands behind his back, and it's a corner to Yeovil Town.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for, isn't it? James Plant picking the ball up, getting a shot away, gets the supporters lifted. That's what you need in these moments where you feel a little bit under pressure. Just a shot, something at goal, something to get people on their feet. And Brett McGavin over for this corner. I was in the Thatcher's stand on the for the Forest Green game, and Brett McGavin's deliveries were not brilliant on that night, so hopefully he's been working on those.
2 arms in the air towards the far post, not a bad one, but it's headed away. Should receive it again from Daly. This time on his favoured left side is Daly. McGavin's trying to skip away from Evan. That's a really good interception, but a bit cheap from McGavin as well. Should have got a ball in earlier as Saunders giving chase down the right hand side. He might get there first. Another willing runner up top. Saunders ball in towards the penalty spot, headed away from Ferguson. McGavin's beaten to it from Waite opposite number 14. Back to Evans. Pearson. And they're not the biggest side, Eastleigh. They were sort of more known in National League South of being sort of no nonsense and strong physically. They got a bit of everything. Cross in from Harris is straight out of play for a goal kick.
They got a very nippy little midfield pair, haven't they? In Evans and Waite in there this evening. They were causing all sorts of problems, nipping at the heels of all of those Yeovil Town midfielders, not letting Yeovil play through.
As I said, Scott Bartlett appointed after Colwyn Davis's departure. 6 wins, 5 draws, 6 defeats going into this game. It's his arrival to a successful spell with Western, who he led to promotion from the Southern League, as McCormick on the left-hand side. The goal scorer to Plant, faced up from Pearson. Gets the ball in, almost replica to when he's done already this half, straight into the grateful hands of Townsend. All in red. Rolls it short to Humphreys. Now Pierre striding forward. Well, one back from Ferguson. Eastleigh gifted possession back again. It's a long one over the top for Saunders. Left of the penalty area, 1-1. I'm going to come across to try and stop him. Saunders needs an overlapping run. He's got one of Harris. And he's drawn another corner.
Yeah, it's good again from Eastleigh. Big ball over the top and dragging 1-0 out of position, and gives them the chance to get across into the box and bring the big men forward for this set piece.
It's like Waite behind it. He's moved up a level on loan. He wasn't huge regular for Western. He had an awful injury last season. He missed a lot of it. Into near post, misses Lundstrom, and Saunders trying to force it in. Humphreys bringing under control. Couple of keepy uppies, and he somehow still manages to get a shot away with his back to goal. Yeovil are grateful. It's straight into the hands of the well-placed Jed Ward. You can say great technique from the centre back, but he had enough time to do a couple of keepy uppies basically.
Yeah, who's there in the box for Yeovil to take control of that situation? Again, it's another one on a corner. We saw it on Boxing Day. Look, Truro just seemed to be so passive in the box in those moments. No one taking control, and that could have easily resulted in another goal for Eastleigh.
Basically stood and admired it. His only away goal for Eastleigh, Lloyd Humphreys, was here last season. He's got an own goal recently on the road at Rochdale. League leaders, they were 2-0 down to Hartlepool when we last checked. Do an update on the other scores. There's a break in play. It's 1-0 down the left hand side for Jarvis. He's being held from Humphreys with a grapple with one another. Back heels it well to Plant. Wide of the box. McCormick wide, hits the side netting with Townsend fully stretched to his right hand side. It's behind for a goal kick, and credit to Aaron Jarvis who kept that move alive.
Yeah, good work from Aaron Jarvis. Despite having his shirt being tugged by Humphreys again, he's managed to pull out a lovely back heel. And yeah, McCormick, every time he gets the ball on the edge of the box in front of the Thatchers, he thinks he's getting his chance to add to his tally. Good effort low in the near post, but just off target. Back to goalkeeper Townsend near his penalty spot, plays it short to Pierre.
And he's given the ball away cheaply to McCormick. Oh, he nearly managed to find it through to Sims. Again, Evans in the right place to intercept. Good close control from McGavin. Over to Plant, left-hand side. Wannell offering an overlap. Plant cutting inside onto his right foot, slips it through to McCormick. Across goal, it's deflected and it's cleared from the Eastleigh defence. Yeovil trying to capitalise on mistakes, pressing this Eastleigh side back. Fans making noise behind the Thatchers. Better from the Glovers, Ian.
Yeah, it gets people on their feet, just moving it a little bit more quickly now, not dallying on it. And Jarvis there winning a free kick, allows Yeovil to keep this momentum. Eastleigh now having to do the defensive work.
Plant on the left-hand side, he's got Wannell behind him. Near side to us, the Yeovil left. That's Joe Leaf. Manages to find a teammate. Turn it back again. Now Wannell on the left-hand side. Joe Leaf's carried on his run. Wannell advances inside. 20 yards or so from the Eastleigh goal. Over to Plant on the left-hand side. It's a trick. It deflects off Evans, and goalkeeper does well to get there first. For Sims. Takes the ball within his mitts. Remains 1-1.
Take the sting out of the game there. Yeovil have managed to get quite high and stop Eastleigh getting out. They tried to go short. They're going to get it over the top now.
Looking to make a change, Yeovil as well. Gavin waits for the ball to bounce and then beautifully plucks out of the air, and Blair almost holding his hand. Yeovil on the attack again with Joe Leaf wide right, skipping inside, and the referee has pulled the game back for a bit of afters between Williams and Blair. Who've had a word with one another. Infuriating really for the Glovers, because so had a bit more momentum striding forward. They might allow them an opportunity to make which looks to be their first substitution.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. Yeovil were sort of on a bit of a go there with James Daly. A sneaky suspicion it might be James Daly's last involvement with, it's like Michi Afete's out there to come on.
It was a yellow card apiece meanwhile for Blair and Morgan Williams.
Didn't really see what happened though. They sort of was watching the ball as it broke away, but yeah.
I'm wondering whether the referee sort of got a buzzer from either the fourth official or one of his assistants, because the play was in the other half of the field, so he was notified, because unless he was aware that there was a continuing spat between the two, now both in the book, and he's going to be the first substitution for Yeovil. It's Max Joliffe coming off, and as you predicted, it's Michi Afeti is coming on. It's in the 57th minute. First change.
Yeah, I wonder what we're going to do here, because I mean, Joliffe has kind of been right wing back but also centre midfield, so interesting to see if there's much of a change in terms of what Afete's role is in the team. Certainly out on that right side at the moment.
Yeah, he's sort of drifted inside a lot more, so whether he'll just predominantly stay out wide at Fetty, which suits him more. He's on the ball now. He had to play as centre back at Truro with Finn Cousin-Dawson with that roaming role. Swung in towards the penalty spot towards McCormick, well headed away. Sims trying to bring it down in the edge of the box. McGavin pushed to the floor and a free kick. Lundstrom helping him on his way. Fetty again, he's already touched the ball around 6-7 times as he's come on. Daly still camped out on that right wing, receiving the ball from the throw-in. Helps the ball near Jarvis, near the spot, headed away from Humphreys. McCormick, curler just wide. There's a deflection on the way through. Corner to Yeovil Town, 20-yarder.
Lovely effort from Luke McCormick. Picks up the ball after Humphreys wins it from Jarvis in the air and there on the spot, and couldn't quite, deflection helps it wide, but he knew what he was looking for, that bottom corner. He's just so confident when he picks the ball up in those areas. You always think something's going to happen when Luke McCormick has it.
So it's Daly over on the far side to take this corner, left-footed to the near post, punched away from the goalkeeper through a crowd of bodies, right in front of his near post, and it's a poor layoff now. Eastleigh can try and exploit it with Blair, one-on-one running at Affetti. Blair near the edge of the box. Yeovil again bodies back, and Affetti's just stood his ground and won the ball back cleanly. Very well there. He could have been tempted to dive in, but he didn't. He was very calm to stop the dangerous Eastleigh attack.
Yeah, Josh Sim owes that man a spud if he's got any left, because that was all down to Affetti. Really poor from Sims letting the ball go, and Affetti stood his ground, made Blair make the decision and did well.
With a slip from Plant off the ball and received it from Wannell. McGavin in the centre circle across to Sims, who inadvertently helped start that Eastleigh attack. Affetti wide right to Daly, inside to McGavin. And the green and white hoops across now to Wannell. Asked to shoot, but he couldn't really. Had Evans in his way. Evans is always in the way, always in close quarters to the ball. It's been a real asset for Eastleigh this evening, as Williams with the ball on halfway. Eastleigh retreat into a back five. Williams with a hopeful ball over to the right towards Jarvis, heads it inside to McCormick, and he tried to lift it over Townsend, didn't get enough on it. I suppose Yeovil's cries for getting the ball forward would have been justified then, because it was quite a direct route from Williams, which nearly paid off, as Eastleigh now in possession with Pearson on the right. Feeds it inside to Lundstrom, trying to get away from Wannell. Again, plenty of bodies behind the ball for Yeovil. A Wecker just wide of the penalty area, out to Harris. Ball in, well headed away from Ferguson, picked up from Evans near the edge of the box. Sims wisely doesn't go in for the challenge. Evans has attempted cross, blocked from Affetti, now trying to clear it from near the byline. Evans wins a corner.
This is end to end now, isn't it? Eastleigh coming back down the other end and putting Yeovil under pressure. Some neat little play, Sam Pearson on the right hand side. It's all very close and tight in there, and it's that man again, Evans, who wins a corner.
Yeah, just over an hour played, 1-1 here on BBC Radio Somerset. 95.5 FM, 1566 medium wave among other channels, and BBC Sounds, as Waite's going to take this corner, far side from us, from the Tamburino stand, hand in the air. Wecker went down, I thought he just slipped really. He's saying that Wannell was illegally having a grab of him in the penalty area. Referee Harrison Blair across to try and stop the arguments any further. He took charge of Yeovil's 1-0 win at Solihull a couple of months ago, and Eastleigh's 2-1 victory over Southend, which was Scott Bartlett's first game in charge. And again, the referee has to stop the play. I think a card is coming out. Oh, that could have been to anybody.
I think it was 1-0.
Yeah.
Just let him get on with it.
Glad you corrected me in the first half, otherwise I would have been starting around. But Wannell's off. And there's still debates going on. Corner eventually comes in from Waite. Pierre heads it down, it's saved well from Jed Ward, acrobatically throwing himself at the ball at the near post. After all those shenanigans, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams were distracted. The fans behind the goal for Eastleigh certainly getting more lively. Pearson down the right hand side, skips away from the challenger Plant. He's got space near the penalty area, headed away. Sims with a follow-up header. Now Yeovil can break. Now they've got room on the left-hand side. It's effectively 2-on-1. McCormick, will he go alone? He's got Daly alongside him. He's played it across to Daly. Daly brings it down and shoots, and it's a good save from Townsend wide to his right-hand side. I would have forgiven McCormick for going on alone there, Ian.
Yeah, I think he just ran out of steam as he got towards the other end. So frustrating, 2-on-1 in that situation. Anything other than a goal. Fair play to Eastleigh, they've got back and really made up the ground, but in that situation you've got to feel Yeovil should have scored their second.
It wasn't the best ball across either from McCormick. It was slightly behind Daly. Decent save though from Townsend, low to his right. Corner to Yeovil, which McGavin will take on this near side. Again, tight marking towards the back post should be taken, and it's juggled a little bit from Townsend, and the whistle's gone for a free kick on the goalkeeper, which is always going to happen.
It's absolute panto in both boxes, isn't it, on these corners? There's so much drama in the box.
Attendance is 3-1-0-2 with 2-3-8 from Eastleigh. So a little bit down on when they played last year. That's not surprising, as you said before. It's that awkward between Christmas and New Year. No one knows what day of the week it is. Hence, I gave you the story before the game. I went out on a walk yesterday afternoon and it suddenly hit me. It's not the 30th, is it? I should be on my way to Hewish Park, and I had a quick panic and check while I was in the field somewhere near Wellow, and I thought I was going to have to sprint back, and luckily realised it was still Monday.
I'm sure you'd have made it.
Would have been a slight panic. Eastleigh on the attack. Right hand side now with Pearson, received it off Lundstrom. Lundstrom carried on his run out wide in front of the Eastleigh faithful, as we know, 238 of them. Journey from Hampshire, not quite as arduous as their trip to Gateshead just before Christmas. Really grateful they were drawn at home to Southport in the FA Trophy. They also they've got a long trip to start the year away to Boston United, who were sort of pretty much identical position to both Yeovil and Eastleigh in the league table. It's 1-1 here with 65 minutes on the clock as Humphreys over the top of Fetty heads it away. Important interception from him a few moments ago to stop Blair. A counter attacks at either end as Lundstrom left, and now Blair picks the ball up, couldn't quite find a way through. Well cleared from Ferguson, picked up from Evans 30 yards out. Evans too close to the goalkeeper, low central, and Ward's never going to let that bypass him.
Yeah, it was comfortable for Ward. Just looking at Carl Ferguson, seems to be hobbling a little bit after that clearance. Yeovil flood forward again.
Trying to work out what he was holding, whether it's his lower back or the back of his leg. They've just sent out a centre back on loan in Dan Ellison, and they've still got Finn Cousin Dawson. Started the last few in a variety of roles as Wannell on the left hand side.
Wannell's crying out for help. He's got the ball and everyone's so far away from him. And I think Williams as well earlier, similar moment, he's looking for help to give the ball to in front of him, and he's not really got it in the midfield. McGavin's having to come sort of level with the centre-backs to get the ball, and
that's a slip from Humphreys. It might pay off. McCormick snapshot, and it's easily taken. And Yeovil nearly benefiting from these slips in the Eastleigh defence as they did with the opening goal of the game.
Yeah, McCormick needed a shout from a teammate there. He had time to have a touch and get his head up a little bit. Jarvis was on the edge of the box, but and it was all very rushed in there.
1-1 here between Yeovil Town and Eastleigh. Evans over the top for Harris to give chase. Should get there before Fetty, right near the corner quadrant. Deliberately plays it against the substitute and behind for a throw. I keep meaning to do a quick run through the lineups. I've barely had time to draw breath. It's really high octane stuff this second half. Played at a good tempo, decent spectacle. Far better than that Maidstone Trophy game the other week.
That was good in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the rest of it, I went on and on and on. But Yeovil eventually prevailed as Evans clips it over the top. Harris, who's offside. So I'll go through the Eastleigh lineup. It's Townsend in goal, Humphreys, Pierre and Aweka across the back. Pearson, Lundstrom, Waits, Evans and Harris in midfield with Saunders and Blair up top. Yeovil, Ward in goal. Ferguson, Williams and Wannell as a back three with a Fetty, Sims, McGavin and Plant in midfield four. Daly and McCormick playing behind Jarvis, but it's been pretty fluid really. See now sort of Plant is very high up and Sims has had sort of more free-ish role. Got the assist for the opening goal of this game. Just now reached the midway point in the second half, 1-1.
And Wannell's been getting forward like a left back in this second half as well. It's really, everyone's sort of got dual roles at the moment.
Yeah, it's not for the want of trying. It's not like Yeovil play defensively why they're not scoring as many goals they would have liked this calendar year, not just this season. It's a head injury, I think, so the referee will have to stop the game. Blair was sort of holding his head, then stormed back up to his feet when I think he realised there was a chance of an attack, and then the game's been stopped again as Ferguson's also in the wars, right in front of the Eastleigh dugout. Scott Bartlett out of his seat. I don't want to say too much. He was cautioned on Boxing Day against Woking.
I think Blairfield, he's had his hair pulled by Ferguson. It looked like to me like he was sort of tugging the back of his head. To say Ferguson's gone over the top with that aerial challenge and has pulled his hair.
And the officials aren't far away, so if he'd been spotted with that, he would have been off. So we're going to restart. The referee dropping the ball to Ferguson to get us back underway, helps it up into the air. Bitterly cold night here at Hewish Park, 1-1. Lundstrom is toppled from McGavin for a free kick to Eastleigh, a couple yards shy of halfway. Played across to Evans, sort of filling in one of their deepest outfield players in his own half. Over the top, 1-1. On head it up to McGavin. Lundstrom takes over in midfield, trying to find a bit of space. Lundstrom looks to his left. Delightful ball to Harris, who touches it back to Blair. Very busy forward. Waite. Just to Pierre. Just to go back to Humphreys. Over the top, well read from Wannell, chests it down. Again, he's, like Ian mentioned earlier, he's sort of his arms outstretched, say I've got no options, I've got no simple pass on. McCormick has looked over the top. Good run from Sims, but he was blocked off from Oweka fairly, behind for a goal kick.
I think part of the problem as well is obviously Eastleigh aren't here just to make up the numbers. They're stopping those passes being able to play, but there's not that sort of, doesn't seem to be that mobility up front and in those forward areas that are coming short to come and get the ball and make something happen. It's a real sort of Luke McCormick sort of comes in deep, but you know, this is one of these games where McCormick looks like he's absolutely dead on his feet, and then he'll pop up in the 94th minute with a winner. But there are spells in games where some players sort of disappear a bit, and it feels like that a little bit at the moment for Yeovil towards the top end of the pitch.
Daly inside to McGavin. Again, there's a little bit of afters, and it's a free kick. It's all broken down. Both teams largely in the final third. I mean, Yeovil have only scored 11 home goals this season, and Eastleigh only 12 away. They scored fewer on the road than Aldershot and Morecambe. They've been struggling the majority, although Morecambe have picked up Aldershot picked up of late. In fact, they've just gone 4-1 over Wealdstone, which has shut me up.
You said it was going to be 0-0 before this game as well, actually, Mark.
Yeah, that was not to be shared on the radio.
Oh, sorry.
I think I said it was going to be 1-1, actually. Headed back across. Anyway, not my wisest prediction. There's Blair around the corner trying to get Pearson going. Couldn't find him as Ward clears the edge of his own box in the direction of the Thatchers, but Eastleigh deal with it. Subs board getting ready for Yeovil. Look who's going to be making way. It's Humphreys on the right hand side with a floated ball near the edge of the box, headed away from Williams, only to Lundstrom. Harris left hand side, low ball. Saunders, it's bent way over the bar and out for a goal kick. Lundstrom with the final effort.
Could see what he was thinking. I think he got caught in two minds though. He was sort of in a nice area to sort of take a shot and maybe go for that top corner, but also had bodies up there to aim at in the box and sort of did neither in the end. We'll look to have a couple of subs.
I think Andrew Olowabori, one of them coming on. See who else will be introduced. And there's the referee looked like he was going to blow his whistle there for a free kick. We play on though with Pearson on the right. Priestley to Evans, to Pearson. Evans again takes over in midfield.
I think it's one of the Alice Band boys, whether it's Tobin or Greenslade is to be determined.
I wonder whether Sims's race might be run. So it's his first start for a few weeks. Over the top, Humphreys does well to watch it in the air. Not difficult with the floodlights shining in your eyes. He's now back with Townsend between the sticks for Eastleigh. And hasn't really been troubled enough. I mean, that decent save from Daly when Yeovil countered menacingly. 1-1, just over 70 minutes played this game. Final game of 2025. Both clubs at the moment, it's going the same way as the final game of 2024, a draw between Yeovil and Eastleigh. See whether we're in for a finale as dramatic as last year, as Aweka's not going the best ball to deal with. He's played it over his own shoulder, brought down from Evans and helps it forward to Blair. Lundstrom, Harris carrying on his run down the left hand side, should get there first. Low ball into the middle, stretch clearance from Ferguson on the floor. Eastleigh worked that well actually. That was a really nice move, and it's led to another corner for the Spitfires.
Yeah, all from a really poor pass back to Aweka, and he's hoofed it up into the air, and Evans with a lovely touch around the corner and worked it really well, like you said, and good ball into the box, asking questions, and another corner for Eastleigh.
Yeah, which means the substitution is further delayed as Waite places the ball in the corner quadrant. Let's take this one, 26-year-old Welshman, far side. It's a high loopy one, looking for the head of Humphreys, doesn't find him. Fetty can't fully get it away. McCormick certainly can. Out of play for a throw in towards halfway, and that's finally the chance for Yeovil to make a double change. Tobin is coming on. I said, yeah, Josh Sims likely to make way, so it's Josh for Josh. 75th minute. And also Andrew Oluwabori was lively when he came on at Truro on Boxing Day, and James Daly as the second player to make way and crossed over into the 76th minute. He's certainly a direct influence on this game potentially, Ian. He likes to run at people.
He does, if he's given the space to run into. As always, the thing with Andrew Oluwabori is that product. Can he turn that brilliant dribbling, brilliant running into assists and goals?
Over the top, headed away from Wannell. Nearly find Lundstrom near the edge of the box. McGavin there to cover. Cleared from Ward. Out for a throw. And when he's done well against Eastleigh in the past, he got 3 assists against them back in April 2024 for Halifax. A 3-0 win. The goals have been in short supply for him really at Yeovil. Just one this season. It's his 39th appearance across a couple of spells. He's got 3. As Evans turns away from Jarvis. So left hand side to Aweka. Pierre finds Aweka again. His slip costly. Yeovil benefited from it by taking the lead before Aaron Blair, fighting with the ball on the left hand side, equalising the penalty spot. He's received it from a quick throw in from Harris. Blair wide left, got Saunders waiting in the middle. Williams appealing that he's played it against Blair, and he hasn't, and the corner's tossing up for Eastleigh. They've got another over on the far side, still 1-1.
Yeah, it's that Blair chasing the ball down again and making something happen. It's really caused problems for Yeovil this evening with his running. Can they get the delivery right on this one and put Yeovil under more pressure? I'd love for a Yeovil defender to just take ownership of this one and just boot it clear. Rather, there seems to be a real aversion to that.
Gone short to Evans just inside the penalty area in the corner. Help forward, and it's saved from Ward. Might have been Lundstrom who got the sort of flick on. Ward clears it at his hands towards McCormick. Fends off Pearson, goes to grind, and the free kick has gone against McCormick. The tussle with Pearson, and the referee deems that the Yeovil man is the guilty party. Free kick on the edge of the Eastleigh box.
Yeah, there was a fair bit of shirt pulling in amongst all of that. Not sure who was the offender, but yeah, didn't feel like McCormick was going to get much there.
I think he's a little bit unlucky. As Yeovil try and win the ball back, but Tobin's dispossessed. Saunders lays it off to Lundstrom, just too far in front of him. Fetty there to cover, and Tobin sprays the ball well to McCormick on the left hand side. That's a delightful pass on the substitute. McCormick running at Humphreys inside, good defending, stood his grind. The centre back I thought he won the ball cleanly. A few appeals from the home faithful. It's the ball's last off player for a throw-in on halfway.
Yeah, I agree with you. He stepped across, won the ball cleanly, and broke that attack up.
He's a very canny player, Humphreys. Has just now brought the ball down well. Very composed defender, although Eastleigh have given the ball back to Yeovil with Plant on the left-hand side. Touches it back to McGavin, inside to Tobin and his Alice band. Fetty over to Oluwabori. Fetty's carried on his run near the byline. I think he's asking too much of him, and he's just too far in front. It's out for a goal kick.
Andrew Oluwabori would have got onto that pass. It was that great little ball through, but a bit too much on it for a Fetty. Yeah, we're starting to show a little bit, and there's a couple more changes now come in.
Yeah, board getting prepared. Final throw of the dice for Yeovil. It's be all 5 of their substitutes used up. Kyle Ferguson coming off. I think it might be Finn Cousin Dawson. It's in the 80th minute, so that's a like-for-like change. You said he'd been struggling a little bit. I think maybe playing through the pain barrier, because they wouldn't have made that change otherwise, particularly with the strikers they've got on the bench. And Aaron Jarvis is making way, and Tavon Campbell on. So that's all 5 substitutes for Yeovil used up. Tavon Campbell, who's scored 4 in the past against Eastleigh for 3 clubs, but he's never been on the winning side. I think if he scores this evening, he should be, with 10 minutes left.
Well, let's hope it goes that way. Shall we?
He's got the 3 this season. His last one was a fortunate one against Carlisle, which I think's been credited to him eventually, when it's sort of ball headed against his head from a George Nurse corner. So we're back underway with Evans. Sort of half volleys it over to the left-hand side to Harris, cutting inside. Lundstrom over wide right to Pearson. Wants an overlapping run of Harris, who's come completely off the shape from left to right in front of his own supporters. Humphreys back to Evans, now wide right again to Harris. Falling is well dealt with. Harris again. Slightly loose ball inside, picked up from Evans though, making something happen. Lundstrom wide right, pulls it back, and Yeovil got bodies back to clear and played it out of trouble. In fact, through McGavin to Oluwabori, striding through the middle, loses balance slightly. Had Campbell up in front. Now might need to use a Fetty to his right. Eastleigh again very good at getting bodies back, aware of the threat, and Yeovil have to start from the back again.
Yeah, Oluwabori in such a good position. You think, just get on with it, run with it, get your head up, find that pass.
1-0 wide left. Ball in's not a bad one in. Then he reached Campbell. It's headed back into the air, and the foul against Plant. Push on Lundstrom. Free kick to Eastleigh in their own box. We've got around 8 minutes left, and it remains 1-1.
Hard to tell from our angle. We were sort of away from us, but that looked a bit soft from here. I think hands in the back. That was the signal from the referee, but yeah, it was a good ball in there, wasn't it? That was really nicely flighted from 1-0, nearly right on Tavon Campbell's head.
Pointed out earlier, he's been given licence to go forward more. 1-0 off centre back, operating almost as a left wing back. Tobin pulled to the floor. That might be a yellow. Free kick in Yeovil's favour, and I think it might be Lundstrom, the latest man in the book.
Ironic cheers in front of us from the supporters, not happy with a referee's recent decisions.
And he is in the book, Lundstrom, in the 83rd minute. It's 4th yellow of the campaign. Capped once from England's C. Free kick to Yeovil, round 15 yards or so inside the Eastleigh half, right of centre. McGavin's over the top of. Eastleigh have brought 9 players behind the ball, 1 in the wall. Weight, not the biggest of walls, Blair stayed furthest forward, occupied by 2 Yeovil men, unsurprisingly. Fetty, one of them, he dealt with him well earlier. Cross floated in towards one, was headed back across. Campbell trying to battle away. Olawabori as well, and Eastleigh scramble it clear through weight. Again, Blair giving willing chase. He's made the ball his. Tries to find Saunders. Fetty there to cover. But again, that's a really good example of what Blair's been like, really, all evening. He chases lost causes. That was a ball sort of on the halfway line. He would have been forgiven for saying nothing's going to come from this. And had he got the pass right to Saunders, then Eastleigh would have been in, Ian.
Yeah, again, like you say, a good run, and yeah, the pass was a little bit loose, but Yeovil were under pressure, and the way Eastleigh have got forward and back tonight, they would have had bodies up there quick.
Ball in is low, and again Eastleigh are going to deal with this, I think, through Lundstrom. Couldn't quite find Blair on this occasion. Williams had a cover very assuredly inside to Tobin. Yeovil trying to make things happen. Olawabori and Fetty linking up down the right. Cousin Dawson tried to find McCormick. Olawabori trying to win a corner, and he's successful. Corner Yeovil.
Yeah, just managed to squeeze something out of okay on that side, didn't he? It was he's looking lively, Olawabori, tonight. Not really been able to get the ball out of his feet and really get one of those gut-busting runs on, but causing a bit of problems, and he's giving Eastleigh something to think about, which I think is how they're having to defend. They've got to think about his speed, his pace, his trickery. It's just a different sort of outlet that Yeovil have had all night, really.
McGavin to take this corner from the right. Looking for Williams. 1-0, they took it off him. I thought we were going to have history repeating itself from last year. It was a McGavin corner for a Williams header in the 89th minute. And Yeovil still didn't go on to win the game. Richard Brindley evening tonight, and if far earlier, as Blair and Plant butting off the ball, and Blair illegally appends Plant. Free kick to Yeovil. I mean, that was so far off the ball. It was only 15 yards from where the ball was. Midway inside the Eastleigh half. Yeovil left. Again, real unnecessary tussle. Means that Eastleigh have a set piece to defend.
Yeah, there's been the real sort of scrappy little moments that really needless, and yeah, Blair's been caught up in a few of them. It's another thing about a good striker, they've got that little bit of dark arts to them to pull off that stuff.
Free kick which McGavin will take. But before that, it's going to be a substitution. Blair's coming off. And Paul McCallum's coming on, who's historically got a very strong goal-scoring record. Came off the bench to net at Gateshead as well the other week. And further change. I think it's James Waite's number is up. The substitute is going to be substituted, I think. And he looks a little bit mystified. This is a mistake. Well, if they don't... Yeah, he is making way. He's coming off on the near side. So the nearest point to exit the field.
Also in the field is number 20, Sam Pearson, coming on.
Sam Pearson's coming off as well. For Angel Warrior.
Waite's going to soak up the adulation from the Yeovil Town supporters as he makes his way off around in front of the home supporters rather than the travelling fans. He gave a little bit of a cheeky wave to some supporters in front of us.
I didn't see who came on for Waite. That's the thing, they made them sort of so quickly as McGavin delivery is headed away near the edge of the box. Help further clear from Saunders. Fetty. No nonsense interception just by standing his ground. The ball is overhit and it's going to be straight into the hands of Nick Townsend. Goes long. Warraway's going to give chase with Plant, who heads it back to keep his hands.
Got lost up in the lights there for James Plant, I think. He looked all out of sorts as that ball came out of the sky.
Crossfield ball is well headed away from Harris. Both teams sensing a winner. We've got a minute and a half of normal time remaining. 1-1. BBC Radio Somerset. Plant on the left hand side. Oh, it's a poor ball in truth. He had lots of time. He should have played it low along the floor. Instead he's put it high, and it's easily taken out the air from Townsend. And Warraway can try and get something going for Eastleigh. And the ball is way over hit and out for a goal kick. Yeah, it was Fernandez was the other man who came on for weight in among all that confusion.
It looks like Humphreys has come out to the right side as more of a right wing back now.
Fernandez, who's barely recognisable actually, he's had quite a severe haircut in the last week or so. He used to have the sort of the man bun, but now had a lot of it shorn off. Former Stevenage man, ex-teammate of Chris Lyons and so on, as McCormick to the right hand side again. It looks to overhit and well defended from Harris. Clears. Board's coming up soon for additional time. I'm not sure it'll be as much as the first half. Plant on the left again. Wannell striding forward to offer an overlap. Wannell, low ball driven across, and it's wide. Tobin, I think, at the final effort, perhaps distracted by so many green and white shirts in the penalty area. Yeovil flooded the box. They didn't make the most of it. It's behind for a goal kick.
I think McCormick got in the way of Tobin as that ball came across. Really frustrating. It was a good chance. 5 minutes to be added on.
This evening's player of the match is number 8, Luke McCormick.
Luke McCormick's received the player of the match, not for the first time this season. He's been so good, hasn't he, since he joined from was it Forest Green the end of last season, Bristol Rovers, of course. Played in League One a bit last term. He's got all his credentials. He's at Chelsea with the likes of Levi Colwill and Conor Gallagher. He's played every minute now, 21 successive league games, which shows how valuable he is to this team.
Yeah, he's been a really great signing for Yeovil. He's that player that sort of stitches things together.
Eastleigh have just made their 5th change, and it's a league debut actually for Tommy Whitehead, albeit it's going to be a brief one. He's been unused in the last 5 games. His only previous Eastleigh appearance was in the Hampshire Senior Cup against AFC Tottenham back in September. Signed from Bournemouth in the summer. Australian heritage. He's gone up top alongside McCallum. The youngster. Try and make some sort of impact in this 5 minutes of additional time. 1-1 flicked on from McCallum. Yeah, we should deal with it through Fetty over the top, looking for Campbell. Now he got the other side of his man. Bori. He's lost out to Aweka. He's done well. In fact, other than his mistake which led to the goal, he hasn't really done too much wrong for Eastleigh. 2 minutes of additional time played. 1-1 here at Hewish Park. Final game of 2025 as Plant takes inside. He's got 2 players on him. Having a little bit of a pull, which isn't wise. He's on a yellow, and Warraway tried to take the free kick quickly. It's going to be pulled back and to have another go in his own half.
It looks soft as well, that decision. I thought there's nothing particularly untoward from James Plant. The Eastleigh man didn't seem too perturbed by the infraction either, so
he's left it now for Humphreys Angel Warraway, who was at Plymouth Academy under former Yeovil manager Darren Way. Humphreys takes his free kick, headed away from Williams. Conceded that penalty in first half added time, which got Eastleigh back deservedly, I should say, on level terms. At the moment, it's heading for a draw here at Hewish Park. A couple of minutes added time remaining.
Yeah, we've tried to change things up to get that, and certainly looked the more likely as the second half wore on to find a second goal, but they've had to keep their wits about them at the back.
They're going to have to now, because McCallum's got a long throw. Not unusual for a centre forward. It's only 15 yards or so inside the Yeovil half. Yeovil have all, everybody within around 40 yards of their own goal, hoists it into the penalty area. It's an inadvertent flick. Cousin Dawson, it's a corner to Eastleigh.
That was a mammoth throw from Paul McCallum, wasn't it?
Well, he got an assist with one last year for Humphreys, sort of guided header into the top corner. And now Yeovil have to defend latest set piece, which Lundstrom's going to take over on the far side. 26-year-old. One of the last attacks of the game. We played 4 minutes additional time, 1-1. Lundstrom into the near post, headed away from Campbell. Following up from Jarvis's good defending in the first half, and that's a free kick. Foul from Humphreys, the ball's lashed out anyway, and cards coming out. Time wasting. Evans, I think, is pointed in the direction of. And a few fans are making their way for the exits, get the heaters on in the car.
Definitely one of those nights. We're quite lucky we've been able to stand up and keep ourselves a little bit warm. But those in front of us who've been sat very still all night will be...
I've been moving from side to side more than I would do normally. Got the step count in. Yeovil, maybe one last attack on the right hand side. Good block though from Pierre. Oliver Bory's attempted cross. We've just passed the 5 minutes of additional time, 1-1. It's going to be a long throw. I think it's been left for Fetty. And they're going to have to get a move on.
Yeah, I think Cousin Dawson's run over to take it. Morgan Williams was telling everyone to slow down, let those attacking players get forward. There it is.
Last chance soon. It's very high into the near post. Eastleigh deal with it. Whitehead clears it towards halfway. They had no real outlet. McGavin's ball sideways to Cousin Dawson. We've crossed the 5 minutes additional time. Fetty near the edge of the area, helps it back in. Williams, decent header back into the area, trying to keep it alive. Williams, and he's headed it down to himself and volleyed it over. That would have been a real Roy of the Rovers moment. Had that ripped the net out at the Thatchers, but you got everything behind it, too much behind it. It's well over the top goal kick, and I think that's probably that, Ian.
Yeah, that was the last chance, I think, wasn't it? And Morgan Williams likes those late goals, but on this occasion, that one wasn't the prettiest finish. I think we've done the 5 minutes now. I think when this goal kick gets taken, the whistle will go. Those around us seem to think so too, because they're all on their way out.
And they are correct. There goes the final whistle here for this game and for 2025. It's finished. Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1. Goal scorer for Yeovil, their top goal scorer of the calendar year, Luke McCormick, 28 minutes, when Josh Sims benefited from a slip from Temi Aweka, pulled it back, and a composed first time finish from one of Yeovil's most impressive performers this season. It was cancelled out in first half additional time. Morgan Williams bringing down Harvey Saunders, former Bristol Rovers man, in the penalty area, and Aaron Blair coolly dispatched the penalty, sent Jed Ward the wrong way. Yeovil's best chance in the second half came from James Daly on the counter when McCormick teed him up. It was a good save from Townsend Low to his right. And Eastleigh had a few flurries themselves. Pierre denied from a set piece. Good save from Jed Ward. It's finished 1-1 here, Ian, and like it did last year, Yeovil end the calendar year with a draw against Eastleigh, and same as last year, it's probably the right result.
Yeah, I think so. Fair result tonight. Yeovil, again, they huffed and they puffed in the second half, but again, that final ball is lacking at the moment. Not quite getting those patterns right at the top end of the pitch, but yeah, a good game between two teams, very evenly matched, and enjoyable way to see out the calendar year.
Absolutely. I mean, but the one, before I take you back to Jack, the one issue Yeovil's still got, said at half-time, just over 1,000 appearances between Yeovil's first team squad. They've only scored 71 between them, and Morgan Williams has scored the most of that. He had that chance in the last minute, whereas Paul McCallum has scored more alone for Eastleigh than the whole of the Yeovil players. But I thought they creativity-wise, I think they did all they could. They tried to mix it up as well. They sometimes went long diagonals, but it's just finding that way through and trying to create more openings, because the goal only really came from an Eastleigh mistake.
Yeah, and that's, the age-old problem of this team at the moment is scoring goals. And when you can't rely on Luke McCormick to turn up every week and do something, so those strikers do need to start putting their weight about and finding the back of the net. And I think, like you said, it's not the want to try, and they are trying different things and trying to make something happen, but nothing is clicking right now at the front end of the pitch. And hopefully that'll be their New Year's resolution for the team, is to score some more goals.
Yeah, but they started the day in 14th and 15th, and that's how they'll finish it as well, with a draw. It's finished here at Hewish Park. Jack, Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1.
Mark, I will let you go and escape and go and have a catch up with Billy and one of the players. Ian, I'll let you go very shortly to go and try and warm up. I mean, that second half won't be standing out on any of your highlights reels come the end of the season, I'm guessing.
No, I don't think so. It was, both teams sort of, I don't think they were spent after the first half, but there was such a lot of energy in that first half, and there was, everything you want from a football match, a little bit of bite, a little bit of needle between the teams. And second half it sort of levelled out a little bit, and Yeovil had a couple of chances, a couple of flurries forward, but not enough to really test the Eastleigh backline and the Eastleigh goalkeeper. And I think a draw was a fair result at the end of tonight.
Obviously, you, Mark, have just kind of touched on it, so I won't go into it too much more, but the goal scoring element is a big issue. We know that the next team to come to town is Braintree at the weekend, and they are a side who they've picked up a win to lift them further away from the bottom end of the table, but still below Yeovil. How key is it to get 3 points at Hewish Park this Saturday?
I think it's massive. I think especially after the Truro loss, I think many supporters, rightly or wrongly, would have been thinking that we'd pick up 3 points there on Boxing Day, probably the draw tonight, and then another 3 points on Saturday. But as it is, it's only one from the 2 games so far, and they'll be wanting something for sure, because we came up from National League South at the same time that Braintree did. They're kind of the benchmark for us in terms of progression, and we want to be beating the teams that came up at the same time as us and beating the teams that came up after us as well. But as it is, we're still struggling at the moment to get that right, and hopefully on Saturday the 3 points will go in Yeovil's favour. But again, it's get the cliche out of the way, but there are no easy games at this level, and Billy Rowley's clearly having to learn very quickly that in his time as Yeovil Town manager so far.
And we touched on it before the game started, and Billy's made a point of saying, look, he's assessing the squad at the moment. If we go into the grand scheme of how long a person's been at a club, he hasn't been around very long at all. He's now seen his team struggle to score again and struggle to muster that many chances. Do you think a striker or something like a very much an attacking third player is top of the priority list for the next couple of weeks?
I mean, most of the supporters who are leaving Hewish Park tonight will have seen the performance that Aaron Blair put in for Eastleigh and thought we could do with a striker like that. I think the running, the chasing down, he got involved in a couple of bits of nonsense with defenders, but that's what happens with strikers. But there's that sort of, I'm not saying we're going to be able to go out and sign him, but there's that type of striker who does all the hard work, really runs and has got pace about them, that knows where the back of the net is. And I know they don't grow on trees, but clearly Eastleigh have managed to find one, and if we're a club of a similar standing to Eastleigh in terms of our position in the table, there has to be the capability to bring players like that in somewhere. It's just identifying them and paying the money to get them in.
Ian, as always, thank you so much. Have a nice new year and speak to you in 2026.
My pleasure, Jack. See you in the new year.
Thank you very much. That's Ian Perkins of Glovers Cast fame there. Mark Stillman before him, our commentary team tonight, where it's finished Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1. We're coming off air at 10 this evening, so we won't be able to bring you any reaction tonight. But if you keep an eye on BBC Sounds on our Yeovil Town feed, we'll put up the player and manager interviews there ASAP, and more reaction tomorrow morning on breakfast as well.
The Midweek Match.
BBC Radio Somerset.
Bring you some other scores now because there's more success for Weston-super-Mare. They've won again. They beat Salisbury 1-0 to keep the pressure on at the top end of the National League South. They remain third, but only 3 points off the top. Bath got a 0-0 draw at home against Torquay there as well. Heading across to the Premier League, looking for the last scores. Burnley 1, Newcastle United 3 was the final score at Turf Moor.
Yeah, it's finished. Burnley 1, Newcastle 3, and it looked like it was going to be Newcastle's night really early on because 2 minutes in, Anthony Gordon sent the ball in from the left-hand side into the box. Joel Linton swung his left foot at it into the back of the net, and then a bit of a scramble happened on 7 minutes. Johan Wisser got the goal, but there was Harvey Barnes in the mix as well, forcing a save, but it went eventually over the line after VAR cleared it. 2-0 up to Newcastle, but from then on Burnley have battled and battled. They got a goal back when Armando Broja put a header into Josh Laron. He smashed it with his right foot into the back of the net. VAR eventually cleared that one too. Marcus Edwards had a great chance. You would imagine he's going to go home gutted at this. He looked to have equalised when he hit it across the face of goal. He beaten Nick Pope, but Fabian Shah was there just to clear it off the line. Then in added time, Bruno spotted Dubravka well off his line. He's booted it with his left foot from outside the box and put it beyond Burnley in additional time. Scott Parker will be gutted because they've done everything in this second half to try and get something out of it. They haven't though. It's finished Burnley 1, Newcastle 3.
It's all over at Stamford Bridge as well between Chelsea and Bournemouth. John Southall.
Yeah, terrific. It's finished Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2. Boos at the end from the home fans inside Stamford Bridge. Another disappointing home performance and result for Chelsea. 2-2 at half-time. The goals in the opening 27 minutes of the game. David Brooks gave Bournemouth the lead. Cole Palmer equalised from the spot. Enzo Fernandez then curled in for 2-1, and Patrick Kluivert levelled from another long throw that Chelsea just did not defend. In the second half, Bournemouth had a penalty claim waved away. Estevao, who was terrific, denied by Petrovic, and Fernandez missed a great chance. Then in the 92nd minute for Bournemouth, the Turkish striker Enis Ünal, 12 yards out, had the chance to win the game, and he put it over the crossbar. Bournemouth will be happy with this, but damaging for Chelsea. More points dropped from a winning position at home. For Bournemouth, still no win since the 26th of October, but they will take much from this. Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2.
Elsewhere, finished Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 2, West Ham 2, Brighton 2. It is now Arsenal 4, Aston Villa 0 as we enter the last 10 minutes there at the Emirates. And Manchester United drawing 1-1 at home with bottom of the table Wolves. Interesting game taking place there. The other big story of the day, Justin Hood in the PDC World Darts Championship from Glastonbury, now living in Weston-super-Mare, won his last 16 game earlier today. We now know who he'll be playing. He will be playing Gary Anderson on New Year's Day.
Yeah, the man from Musselburgh, the Flying Scotsman who was back-to-back champion here 10 years ago, has dumped out Michael van Gerwen, the world number 3, a man who himself has won at Ali Pali 3 times previously. The beaten finalist last year is beaten in the last 16 this time by a 55-year-old legend in a rivalry renewed. It's Anderson who rolled back the years. He averaged 99. He took it 4-1, and Gary Anderson is into the quarter-finals. He'll take on Justin Hood on New Year's Day.
Well, that's all from us here in Somerset. It's been the midweek match with myself, Jack Kyler. Toby on the other side of the glass, so thanks to him. Where tonight it's finished Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 1 in the National League. We will be back with you again. The Yeovil's next game against Braintree, taking place on the 3rd of January.
Sims benefits from a slip from Mweka, wide right of the penalty area, plays it across low. It's tapped in, yes, Yeovil have scored. McCormick, and it was all down really to the slip in the Eastleigh defence. Yeovil took full advantage, 28 minutes in, Yeovil Town 1, Eastleigh 0. Blair nearly skipped in behind and Warders dropped it and feels for a penalty and it's given. I mean, it was a bit of miscommunication, I think, initially in the Yeovil back line. It was Saunders who nicked in and was caught, and Eastleigh have a spot kick to try and get back on terms. Supporters behind the goal, torches on their phone to try and put Blair off, which they don't, because he has comprehensively sent Jed Ward the wrong way. just inside the left post. A good penalty from Blair. Kneels down in front of the Yeovil fans, rubbing it in a little bit. You can see a Wecker with a sort of shush motion. 2 minutes into first half, additional time. It's Yeovil time 1, Eastleigh 1.
And that is how it finished. Saturday Sport will return. New Year's Day Sport will be here for you on the 1st of January. Bristol City against Portsmouth, one of our full commentary games. Yeovil back in action, as I just mentioned, against Braintree. More reaction to tonight's game. Interview with Billy Rowley and a player will be on our BBC Sounds feed shortly. Just head online, look for that. Whatever you're up to on New Year's, have a good one, and we'll be back with you again soon.
From the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
play BBC Radio Somerset,
and on your radio.
The sound of the county is
BBC Radio Somerset.
At 10 with the BBC News, I'm Carl Hartley. The operator of the Channel Tunnel says train services should return to normal overnight after a power failure disrupted travel for thousands of passengers. Eurostar says the route has partially reopened, allowing it to resume some journeys. Mark Sutherland spent hours waiting on a train to Brussels before being brought back to London.
We were told when they said they were heading back to London that there'll be somebody in the terminal to speak to, and when we got there, police said there's nobody here, it's closed, nobody to support you to let you know what's happening.
It's emerged that the British Egyptian activist who apologised yesterday for historical social media posts has since endorsed baseless claims that he is the victim of a smear campaign initiated by Zionists and spies. The government welcomed Alal Abd al-Fattah's return to the UK on Boxing Day before details of his old messages resurfaced. The Foreign Secretary has now ordered an urgent review. A mum who died with her 2 children in a house fire on Boxing Day has been named as Fionguala Shearman. The fire at their home killed her 7-year-old daughter Eve and 4-year-old son Honna. The Reverend Peter Francis says they've opened the church nearby so people can come and grieve together.
It's just been such a terrible tragedy, and I think there's just been a real sense of shock and grief. For some people, the events they see are the sorts of things they see on television, but they never imagine happening in their local community.
A man has been arrested after 5 people were assaulted with what's thought to have been a crowbar in a hospital on Merseyside. Those injured were treated by paramedics at Newton Community Hospital in St Helens, and it's understood none have life-threatening injuries. The oldest surviving victim of the post office IT scandal says she feels humbled to be made an OBE. 92-year-old Betty Brown had run the Anfield Plain post office in County Durham until 2003 and was one of more than 900 sub-postmasters to be wrongly prosecuted. She says the fight isn't over until everyone receives justice.
For what they've put us through and what we have stood solid and faithful for. I did it for justice. I did it because they're so wrong in what they've done and what they're still doing.
And German police are investigating what appears to be a brazen heist at a bank. Thieves used a large drill to smash into the vault room and empty thousands of lockers containing cash, gold and jewellery worth around €30 million. So that's around £26 million. You're now up to date. It's